Yes,
Yep.
sir.
The following program is made possible in part by the Nancy Eccles and Homer Hayward Family Foundation, the Digital Media Foundation, Yellow Brick Road, and the Arts Council for Monterey County. A big thank you from MCAETtv. The following program is made possible in part by the Nancy Eccles and Homer Hayward Family Foundation, the Digital Media Foundation, Yellow Brick Road, and the Arts Council for Monterey County. A big thank you from MCAETtv.
We are live here tonight in Gilroy with Christopher High School and Salinas High School. Two really exciting teams. It's going to be a great game tonight. You're live on MCAETtv. MCAETtv is a synonym for the Media Center for Art, Entertainment, and Technology, run through the Monterey County Office of Education under the stewardship of Hamish Tyler over in Salinas, California. We're excited to be here. I'm Bruce Deeney with Boz Johnson, who'll be adding some color for the game tonight. As I said, a meeting of two pretty neat-looking teams in terms of exciting football. Boz, what do you think tonight?
Yeah, Bruce, I think you're hit it right on the head. You've got two teams coming in here with a little bit of momentum. Obviously, Salinas is on the right track with a couple wins, and Christopher is coming off a tough loss against Hollister. But they got to be feeling good. They had a lot of offensive success, and it was a close game, and Hollister's a tough opponent. But, as you know, these teams like to throw it around the yard. I mean, it's going to be an aerial assault as far as we can tell from the statistics and, the previous game. So I think it should be a really exciting game out here tonight. And the fans are going to get a show. I mean, it should be a high-scoring affair as far as I can tell.
Sure, two quarterbacks, each with over 1,000 yards, one with almost 1,500 so far this season. Tell us a little bit about what we'll see, like, offensive-wise from these teams.
Well, I think if you start with Christopher, it all kind of starts with the quarterback, Ben Stanford. I mean, last game he had a huge, performance with 350 yards, 4 TDs, and Christopher really likes to spread it out. They do have a tight end, but they like to go up tempo. They'll get off as many plays as they can, as fast as they can, and if they can kind of get Tyler Davis going in the run game, I think that'll kind of open up some other things for, the passing game. And, of course, they like to throw to Jason Sturgioni, who had a huge week last week with 4 catches, 102 yards, 2 TDs. He is also the #1 receiver in all 4 of the Pacific divisions. So he's going to be an exciting player to watch. And then, Tyler Davis's brother, Christian, he's another receiver who, again, had a huge game against Hollister last week. 15 catches, 180 yards, 2 TDs. So, they like to air it out and create some excitement. And I think as far as Salinas goes, kind of similar thing. They want to throw deep with Richardson, and they have kind of an X factor in Poe Gaskins. I think, Christopher will be doing a little bit of Where's Waldo. They'll be trying to figure out where Gaskins is. I think they're going to line him up, in the backfield, out wide, in the slot, probably get him going on some jet sweeps. So he again, I think he's going to be a little bit of an X factor to create some big plays for Salinas. And again, he had a great game last week against Alvarez, 5 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. But, Salinas, I do think will, have a lot more success on the ground. They're a little bit bigger up front, and they have kind of a two-headed monster at running back with Jeff Schaefer and Abraham Hernandez. I mean, between the two of them, they have 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, and they're kind of some bigger, backs that can really carry the load. So it should be exciting.
Looking forward to it. We're going to pause here during the playing of the national anthem. And we are back. You know, there's a lot going on in the world, good and bad, but there's something very good about being out on a Friday night with about 1,500, maybe a couple of thousand people all paying respect to the flag and getting ready for a high school football game. Baj, it's been a while since you've been out on a Friday night. It's nice to be out, huh?
Hey, this is fantastic. I mean, the atmosphere, you've got the Christopher Band out here making some noise. You've got all kinds of dance teams. I mean, the atmosphere is very electric. I think they're doing a Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the Christopher High School, and you know, I'm just marveled at what a great facility Christopher really is. I mean, it seems like they've got a lot going here.
They've done a great job putting this school together, and the school is opened, I think, in 2009, and this athletics facility that we're looking at tonight, this field and the track and the tennis courts, was completed in 2016, and they've done a phenomenal job up here.
Oh yeah, it looks gorgeous, and all very up to date, and big crowd out here, and they're really enjoying all these wonderful festivities and facilities for that matter.
Again, we're live, MCAETtv. We're on Comcast Channel 26. Charter Cable 17, ATT-Uverse Channel 99, and High Def on your local Channel 38. If none of those is available and you're within earshot, then this will be rebroadcast on YouTube on the MCAET channel, MCAET channel.
Number 1, Christian Davis, and number 22.
Nice kickoff by Matt Scott. That'll come out to the 20.
Yeah, a little touchback. He's got a big leg, but we have somebody down for the Christopher team. Hopefully he's going to be okay and bounce back, but you have the trainers, running out.
It's
and
like Brett McWilliams, you hate to see that the first play, don't you?
It's always a buzzkill. I think everybody's so excited. You've got the adrenaline flowing for the first kickoff, ready to get the game started, and then obviously any kind of injury is a major bummer and kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of your sails. But hopefully, Christopher will be able to bounce back and get some rhythm.
So let's go to see if we can take a little break at this point, and we will be right back.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we are back. The Christopher player still down on the field. But let's get back to the game and what we'll see tonight. It's exciting to be up. Oh, there he's up. He's up, and looks like he's going to come off the field. But that looks to be, I got that name wrong, so we'll identify that player in a minute. But hopefully he'll be all right. That's Coach Perleone helping him off. That looks like
number 59.
could be Jesse Ramirez. We don't have a name for 15. I apologize. But we're getting underway. Here we've got Christopher lining up in their spread with the give to number 1, Christian Davis.
Christian Davis on the carry.
Yeah, a little jet sweep action right there. I think they're trying to get, Christian involved early with some easy touches. I know he's an outside receiver, but it looks like they're trying to stretch the field laterally, maybe set something up for later on down the game.
Good strategy. See how the defense moves a little bit.
At the 19-yard line.
So Christopher signaling in the plays. This allows them to play pretty fast.
Yeah, Christopher does play with a lot of tempo. They're historically known for getting off a lot of plays every single game.
So we'll see this most of the time for Christopher out of shotgun. Looks like we've got...
It looked like a little diamond set, 4 receivers into the short side boundary, maybe to create some open space.
We've got a timeout, and we'll take a little break right here at the beginning of the game, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Spend your money. Not expensive.
we've got Christopher in the shotgun. We've got one back. We've got Davis in the backfield. That's a give to Davis as he tries to cut it outside, find an edge there. Looks like he's brought down by, you're going to hear this name a lot tonight, number 44, Nick Marquez.
Yeah, he's a key player for Salinas. I think he's all over the field. He's really in the heart of that defense. And he actually had a ton of tackles coming into the game. So, look for his name to be called more often, obviously.
He's got, 49, 50 tackles so far this season. And
oh, yeah, he's a stat stuffer,
yeah,
as they say.
And you love that he's not big. He's 5'9", about 200 pounds, but he can move side to side.
Oh, yeah, he's got great lateral quickness, and when he gets to the ball carrier, he knows he's there.
So that's a little inside handoff that didn't go anywhere, just stuffed.
Yeah, well, it looks like Christopher was in about 3rd and 15, and it seems like they were just looking to get out and flip the field position, not take any risks with a deep pass and a turnover. So looks like they're playing their cards pretty tight to the vest and a little conservative at the start, which is good. It's like two boxers feeling each other out at the beginning of a fight.
Sure. I'm looking forward to seeing that arm of Ben Sanford. We didn't see it there,
yeah,
but I'm sure we will.
No, I think they got to let that kid throw.
Yeah. Robert Lugin back there to punt. Gets off a decent punt. It's going to be fair catch there. Oh! Fielded by number 2, Zach Robinson.
Yeah, and Robinson's actually a key player for Salinas. He's one of their better receivers on the perimeter, and he's one of their safeties and top tacklers. So look for him to have a good game here tonight as well. He'll certainly be a key for Salinas as the game goes on.
So what do you think they open with right here, Bosch?
In this kind of good field position, hey, why not take a shot? It
Sure.
looks like maybe they're playing a little press coverage, but, it looks like they've got a tight bunch out there to the left, and they're in the pistol set. Maybe a quick screen out to the bunch or an inside zone handoff is a good way to start a drive.
Carl Richardson he takes that around the.
That's going to be a
that's
touchdown.
Gone. Oh my goodness, Carl Richardson goes all the way for the touchdown. Looked like a little read there.
Yeah, he read that D end, and when the D end crashes, you pull, and there wasn't anybody there to account for the quarterback.
Nobody there. Jeff Schaefer had a big game last week. They might have been keying on him a little bit.
I don't know, a little too easy, Bruce.
Boy.
And then it looks like Salinas here is going with some swinging gate action. They have a number of players out to the left and nobody around the center. It looks like they're going to go for 2, possibly.
There they go. It's a quick throw out to the side. That's dropped there.
That did not go well.
No. So that was number 4, Ivan Curiel, who's normally their kicker, tosses that ball out, and it was dropped for in a close game. You lose.
Hey, special teams. A lot of people don't want to pay a lot of attention to it, but it's a third of the game, and if it's going to be close, that could end up costing Salinas.
Sure, in some ways, but in some other ways, it's kind of like a restart. With a 6-point handicap here.
Absolutely, I think it gives you a little bit window into their mindset that they want to be aggressive. They want to put the hammer down early, and going for 2 is certainly a way to do that.
Well, and actually, it's a great play to start seeing Salinas doing that read with Richardson pulling and taking that ball. We'll see that a lot tonight, won't we?
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about it in pregame, you and I. Richardson is great with his legs. He can throw a great deep ball, but he's a threat when he pulls the ball and runs, as we saw in that first play.
Sure. I think he's got last week ran for a bunch of yards and has run for about 400 yards so far this season.
Yeah, well, I think it really keeps the defense honest when you have a quarterback that's willing to pull like that. Yeah. You got to account for him, and it just creates that extra defender in the box, so you have a numbers advantage.
Nice to have a kicker that can put it through the end zone, right?
Oh, man, that guy must be on that. He's probably on the soccer team, is my guess.
That makes such a big difference when you can hold a team back.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you make a team go 80 yards, they got to earn the whole thing. There's no easy ways to get 80 yards, so you got to make them work for it. And a kicking game certainly it plays a big part of that.
So we've got We've got Sanford back there in the shotgun again. Got Davis in motion. And he just throws that one away.
Yeah, a lot of pressure by number 54.
Maybe Davis was somewhere in the same area code, but
yeah. So 54 is Joshua Gomez. He's going to be, creating pressure on the quarterback all night. I mean, he was right there in his face to create the errant throw.
Yeah, I think we'll be hearing his name a lot tonight too, as well.
Yeah, both Gomez, I believe they're brothers, Joshua and Sebastian.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Yeah, they're big boys.
So again, now we've got number 9, Tyler Davis in motion, and it's that throw. It looks like it got tipped back there.
Number 54 again.
Yeah.
And so he looks like he's playing the right end position,
yeah.
And then his brother is actually the nose tackle. And man, it's nothing good's happening on that.
So Gomez got that hand up. And
oh yeah. Yeah, no, the defensive line of Salinas is really controlling the game at this point. They're stopping the run and creating pressure on the passer. I mean, Sanford just doesn't really have any time to throw.
They've got both Gomez or both Gomez's. They've got a real height advantage down there on that defensive line. There's a quick pass out. Looks like to
number 5,
Jason Sergioni, who's been a great receiver for the last couple of years for Christopher.
Oh yeah, Sergioni. I mean, he's one of those players that's going to create big plays, and Christopher has to find a way to get the ball in his hands. I mean, he's got to be a focus of the offense going forward.
Scourgino, 6'2", good size. I think they need to get the ball in his hands.
Well, yeah, he's got a huge height advantage against the corners for Salinas, so they're just going to have to maybe throw him some jump balls and see what happens. Bad
like
bounce.
Gets a bad bounce on that, fielded very athletically there by Tyler Davis.
Yeah, and both Davis brothers really having a great season so far.
So Salinas with about identical field position, same hash, same field position.
Yeah, no, I think when that comes into the special teams.
Yeah,
and the
again, that kicking game, right?
Yeah, no, if you set yourself up with good field position, it makes a huge difference. You got an empty set here. You got a bunch left and a stack right with Richardson in the shotgun.
So Richardson just taking it right up the middle. No hesitation to design run play.
Oh, yeah. You can tell Salinas is looking to run the quarterback this game.
So explain that. That's probably something they scouted right away to call that play, or is that his call, do you think?
They might give him an option to either run or throw a quick screen to either side. I mean, that's pretty...
Nobody's covering at the center, not even now.
Yeah, and he can read how many defenders are in the box if he wants to.
So there he gives to Poe Gaskins.
Yeah, and
very exciting player.
Oh yeah, he's the X factor. He was just lined up in the stack in the empty set, and then he was just in the backfield taking a handoff. So they're going to move him all around the formation, try to create touches for him.
Sure. Again, Gaskins in the backfield, looking to throw. That pass is complete to number 4, Ivan Curiel.
Mm-hmm. Richardson's pass complete. Complete to number 2, Robinson. 1st and 10 Cowboys.
And Salinas going with a little bit of tempo here.
Yeah, they can play fast. That's a gift to Gaskins. Dances around a little bit, finds a place in the middle, runs into the referee, and bounces down around to the 5 or 6 yard line.
Yeah, and for a little bit of a smaller guy, he really pushed the pile forward. He has got strong legs and, really got some extra yards at the end of that run.
Really testing the mobility of that backfield judge.
Hey, anytime you can give it to the refs,
So
Salinas, that's what happens.
Coming up pretty quick. Same formation, Gaskins in the backfield. Anderson takes a snap, looking to throw. That back corner fade he's got. Looks like he had John Mandela out there. Overthrew him by just a little bit. That's a real timing play.
Yeah, it just looked like a little rub route between the slot receiver and the outside receiver, and Mandala was the slot receiver, and looked like he had a little bit of separation, but the throw was in the right spot. Only the receiver could get it. There's no chance for an interception. So
now they've got their big back. They like to give the ball to Jeff Schaefer, in this situation, see if he can pound in. They do that. Schaefer just runs right over a couple of people. Looks like he's making it down about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he's very close to the goal line. He's got to sniff it out and dive for the goal line there.
Well, they like to give Schaefer the ball in these short yardage situations.
Yeah, he's a big
powerful
boy.
runner. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Lead by number 3, A.J. Gomez. 3rd and goal.
They give to. Looks like, oh boy, they gave that ball to
Cowboys, number 40.
looked like
Schaefer.
Schaefer again. Yeah, well, hey, when you've only got 1 yard to go,
give it to your guy who can get you 1 yard, right?
Hey, give it to the big back.
And that shows a lot of confidence by Coach Steve Zankin and his key players there. Swinging gate coming in.
And then they line up back for a regular PAT. Just stick with the easy points. I can agree with that.
Take the points. This is Matt Scott looking to.
Offsides by number 35 on Christopher.
So this is a penalty I never understand.
Yeah, half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance to goal.
Well, I think they're going to go for 2 now.
Well,
I think Schaefer, you might just want to give it to him again.
Sure, we got Schaefer back in the game.
Yeah, Richardson's running back out there, so you put it on the 1 yard line instead of the 2, and that changes the strategy.
We also have Nick Marquez in the game too, and they give the ball to Marquez in short yardage situations. So we've got both Marquez and on that give is to
Schaefer.
And
he's
stopped.
a little short.
Yeah, he stopped. So going for 2 doesn't pay off for Coach Zank and the Salinas Cowboys. So Bosch, explain to some people who might not see that swinging gate very much. Why did they do that?
Well, I think they're just looking to create an advantage, something for the other team to prepare for. And, when you have, 5 or 6 players on a far side and you have nobody around the center, it's just kind of an unusual visual look for the defense. And it's all about alignment. And if the team that's running the swinging gate sees an alignment where they have a numbers advantage in any one particular spot, whether it's with their numerous players off to the side or in the middle with their quarterback, center, and running back, then they have a couple options that they feel like they can get an easy 2 points.
Yeah.
It's really to create an easy 2-point conversion, and it's been successful for a lot of teams in this area, and obviously not tonight, but I'm sure they have a lot more plays in their swinging gate package to go to as the game goes along.
Sure, and we really haven't seen too much from either team yet. But
no, I think it's been pretty straightforward so far.
And there goes that ball with the wind out of the end zone, so that'll come out to the 20 with no shot to return that. I'll tell you, having a kicker like Matt Scott on your team who can boot that ball in the end zone, that's a real advantage.
Oh, yeah, and I think, if he's got the wind behind him later in the game and they need a field goal, he's got the leg to get it there. So I think Christopher needs to try to find some footing offensively here. It seems like, Salinas is really controlling the game in the trenches with the Gomez brothers, and they're not really getting much outside to Sturgioni or Davis. So
Which is where they need to get that ball.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
So we got Safford back to pass here, looking little middle screen. Looked like he was looking for
Chris Hernandez. Who I think is a tight end, so maybe a little tight end screen there to try to, negate some of the pressure, slow down the pass rush, which is smart.
They had it, just dropped there, and
hey,
sometimes it doesn't work.
It's good play design. I think if he catches it, he's got a little room to run.
Sure. Got underneath that zone. It's a swing out to Cooper O'Callahan.
Yeah, no, I think Christopher needs some positive plays, and I think this really put him
O'Callahan. Excuse me.
So now they're in 3rd and short as opposed to 3rd and long, so now they have a little bit more options within their play calling menu, and they really need a first down bad here. Just to kind of flip some of this momentum.
Got a little room to work with these receivers. Ball again is blocked, and I'm going to make a guess that was number 54. Gomez getting a hand up on that ball.
Yeah, Joshua. Yeah, no, you said it. The height of the defensive line of Salinas is really controlling the game, and whether they're getting to the quarterback or they're just getting their hands up to knock the ball down, they're having an impact.
Interesting to see if they've got something in their playbook where they can get him on the move a little bit, get out of that pocket where those big hands are.
Oh yeah, they might need to go to a rollout scenario just to create a different launching pad for Sanford.
Low punt, that's just driven. It's getting a Christopher bounce.
What a great roll.
So that's something Christopher needed. So with 6:55 left in the first quarter, we are 12-0 Salinas Cowboys. 2 touchdowns and 2 failed 2-point conversions account for the score for Salinas so far. Any surprises yet, Baj?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of gone basically as expected. I think Salinas defense is having a lot more success, than I would have anticipated. It seems like they're controlling the game, and now we just have to see if the Christopher defense can respond.
Empty set with Richardson back, looking there looked like he was looking for Chad Phelan, number 6.
And then you've got Julian Rasuli, kind of dropped interception there. He's got to get the gloves with the extra stick.
That's what happens when it hits you in the hands and you don't expect it.
That's why he's a defensive back, I suppose.
So we've got Poe Gaskins in the backfield now. The quick out to number 4, John Mandela, who's brought down there by both Davis both Davises on the tackle.
The Davis brothers collaborating. Well, it seems like Christopher's kind of gone to a single high kind of cover 3 type of look, and now they have Salinas in 3rd and long.
So empty set. So we got Richardson back to pass. He's looking downfield at, that ball was sort of up for grabs. Poe Gaskins getting up there, getting a hand on it, but great coverage by Davis.
Yeah, and Adam Andrade was there as well. So, wow, Christopher really needed that stop. I mean, if they're going to stay in this game, that defense needed to get off the field. So this is a great opportunity to flip that field position and potentially get some points.
Get some field position. We got Julian Rizzulli back to field this for Christopher. We'll see if they can come out of this with some. So Matt Scott with a terrific punt, and then just fielded there by Rizzulli and find some running room. Little running. We got a flag down, but
looks like number 1 Davis potentially was near the flag. We'll have to see what they call. But a great return by 22.
Away from the play, that was back in the back by the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, well, so far away from the play, it seems unnecessary. You always, as a coach, you hate for those mental mistakes.
Well, that'll help Christopher here, but that's an unnecessary mistake.
No, Christopher got the 3 and out, a good punt return, and then now a little bit of extra added on with the penalty, and Salinas is really opening the door here for Christopher to make a play.
So they come back in there. This is their single back set. Sanford gives little inside give to
maybe one of the Davis brothers, number 9.
Yeah, that's number 9.
Tyler
Davis right there.
Tyler Davis on the carry.
Yeah, and Tyler had a rough week last week against Hollister, so they've got to figure out how to get the ball in his hands, maybe in the passing game if they can't give it to him in the run game.
True, yeah. That Hollister defense, much like Salinas, is really built for that to stop the run.
They're stout up front, that's for sure. I mean, you've got 44, and the Gomez, brothers. I think it's tough sledding in there.
And you got Tyler Davis in the backfield. And that's a give. Oh, that's a
little rollout action.
Yeah.
Well, you called it, Bruce. Yeah. They're getting so much pressure. They've got to change the launching pad, so they went with a little bit of a rollout to the right, and I think that was a good play call. Nobody really opened there, so I think Sanford did the wise thing and just got rid of the ball, and they move on. But again, another 3rd and long here, so they're not leaving themselves easy opportunities to convert first downs.
Right. This is really going to test Ben Sanford's mobility.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they bring the house. I know the Gomez brothers are pinning their ears back right now, ready to get a sack.
Looking for somebody and just had plenty of time and just throws that out of bounds there. So they're playing. Well, do they go for it here, Vaj?
I mean, it's kind of no man's land, isn't it? It's too far for a field goal, and if you're going to do a punt, don't kick it in the end zone.
Yeah, no, you just got to pin it back.
You got to do that coffin corner kick where you can get them pinned inside the 10. And if you can do that, then you've got something to work with. But kicking it in the end zone right here is just not very much of an advantage.
We've got Lujan back to punt now.
Hope for a good little kick here.
And he kicked it right to
great
Zach
kick.
Robinson.
Great kick. Out on the 6-yard line there, Bruce.
Good field position.
Just like the coaches drew it up.
It's great when a plan works out.
No, that was exactly what Christopher needs. And, maybe they're using some of those special teams to flip the momentum of this game.
Sure, well, it just reinforces how critical special teams are. You're playing field position now. You got Salinas backed up. They are up by a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, 5:26 to go, but more of a power set give to Gaskins, looking for something up the middle and stopped by nothing there.
Yeah, no, Christopher D was really stepping up in the run game, and putting Salinas in second and long.
Which I know that you love as an offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about that.
I love, they're all the downs are good.
That's a keeper around the side, and he just keeps going. Brought down there by
number 1, Davis.
Yeah,
and a little bit of laundry on the field.
There is a little laundry, and it's a little bit of a late flag. I didn't want to say anything, but
the hit was maybe just one step out of bounds. It is a close call. Yeah. Not a good break for Christopher if they're going to call this. But that's what you want from your players. You want them to be aggressive and you want to be physical, but you do have to toe the line a little bit, and that's just the breaks.
And that's an interesting thing. We had some fans from this angle, because our angle is right about where that camera angle just was, and we had a good block by a wide receiver there, but the hands were inside. They didn't get outside, and if the hands stay inside for the blocker, it very rarely gets called as a holding call.
Sure.
So that's just a give to Gaskins, looking to find something outside. Finds a corner, is brought down by number 3,
A.J. Gomez.
A.J. Gomez, and A.J. Gomez very active on the from that linebacker position, middle linebacker position.
Yeah, he in my opinion, he might be the leader of the defense. He had 14 tackles last week against Hollister, so he's having a great season.
So Richardson looking to throw. He dumps it off to Gaskins, who has a lot of room. Cuts back inside, is brought his big tug down there. Gomez.
And that might be one of those wide receiver holding calls you were just talking about, Bruce, where you got to keep the hands inside. But once they get outside on the shoulder pads and the refs see a little pull of the jersey, they're going to throw that laundry on the field.
Sure, and Gaskins heading for the sidelines, but got back in and extended that about another 5-6 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Showing a lot tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can tell Gaskins was a key focus of the game plan for Salinas. They're just trying to create touches for him with the ball. So little dump-off passes where he can run after the catch. So, obviously they're going to be looking to get him the ball more. So
that's a contact to the head call.
My targeting.
Well, I don't know if it just any contact to the head now is going to be is going to get called.
Quick whistle.
They are really trying to get the head out of football.
That's a good point. No,
and in some cases, they're trying to officiate it out, and maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah, well, it's a tough call for Salinas, but
it's a tough call because kids are playing hard.
Yeah, when you're trying to change the game, though, that these things happen.
So Richardson looking for. He's got
Schaefer.
He's got Schaefer out there in the flat.
And then number 9, Tyler Davis, coming up with a good stop there. So now it's 4th and about 3 or 4, and this is again no man's land like Christopher was just in. So I think
up 2 touchdowns. You go for that?
Yeah, I think the motto for Salinas is they've just been aggressive.
They've got the momentum. So he's got Richardson, Gaskins, and it's a keep. He just pulls that and tries to get outside. That's going to be very close.
Yeah.
It'll depend on the spot.
Richardson down near the line to gain, tackled by number 9, Tyler Davis. He reached the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and actually Davis having a great game defensively, and he's all over the field.
Sure, and that's a good stretch and ball placement for Richardson. Very heads-up play. Knew where he was, got that ball out there, and really extended that reach.
Yeah, and then Salinas going a little bit of tempo, and they've got a tight bunch wide to the right.
Looks like that give is to number 40 again.
Schaefer.
Schaefer sure looks good back there. He's a powerful runner.
Yeah, and on first down, you get a couple yards, and it makes the rest of your play calling just a little bit easier.
Schaefer getting his mouth guard back. And that might be a little too much time, or a timeout called. That's a timeout, Salinas. Or procedure? What is that going to be?
Dead ball foul.
The Cowboys will line up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty. Bring them back to the 46. Going to make it 2nd and 11.
So, yeah, it looked like they just lined up in the neutral zone.
And about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the quarter.
For the Salinas Cowboys and the Cougar 46.
Second and long here for Salinas, with Gaskins in motion across the formation and a little zone
And
read action to Schaefer.
That's to Schaefer, who's met there by
Davis.
but not wrapped up by Davis. Is cutting all the way backfield. Tried to get upfield and is brought down by a host of people, including number 75, John Komorski.
Is it a pride of Cougars?
That would be a pride of Cougars that brought him down.
Kosmorski.
Kosmorski there on that stop. Boy, he came all the way across the field to make that from his nose tackle position.
Yeah, no, and
Showing some speed.
Davis really came out of nowhere, flying up from the secondary to stop the ball carrier, but he bounced it all the way to the other side.
And Schaefer showing some speed on that, not just power. That passes out to Gaskins, who stays in bounds and is knocked out there by Davis.
And looks like a little bit of a first down conversion here for the Cowboys.
Moving the chains.
Gaskins, number 1.
So, yeah, that'll be a first down. Move the chains. And Salinas really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of a methodical drive for them. I think the first couple were more kind of fueled by big plays. But they're really grinding it out. And here they move Gaskins back into the backfield.
Two-back set. And that's that read to Gaskins, who tries to get outside with Schaefer blocking for him. Cuts inside Schaefer and is able to get 3 or 4. Met there by, looked like Davis coming across with a hard hit there.
Yeah.
Or that was
number 35, Tyson Johnson was into the mix there, and looks like 2 Cougars really put the wood to Gaskins.
Yeah.
They're going to need to
felt that.
Oh yeah, they're going to have to step up their level of physicality here.
We get the same set in the backfield. They're 2 big backs. That ball is given to Schaefer, who's up the middle for about 2 or 3 yards there.
Yeah, I think they're looking for third down and manageable.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in this no man's land, so they'll probably go for it on 4th. So if they think they've got 2 play calls to get 5 yards, they're probably feeling confident.
Sure, and it takes a little bit of pressure off your coordinators when you know you're in 2-down territory. Schaefer gets a couple of more.
Yeah, but again, puts them in 4th and short. Maybe 1 yard. Here comes the special teams unit.
And this might be a kick. We'll see if.
With that kicker, this has got to be a field goal attempt, right?
Yeah, this is Matthew Scott coming out for looks like a 42-yard field goal attempt here.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it.
With his time running out in the first quarter. I'm not sure. I don't think they got that off, but that's a nice practice kick.
This is kind of interesting because he had the wind at his back on that particular kick, so I think he'll be kicking into the wind this time, so I don't know if that'll change the strategy for Salinas at all.
And it is a pretty brisk wind. I don't know if we can get a shot of that flag, but there is definitely what looks to be a north-south wind going, and he was kicking with the wind.
Yeah, well, you look at the flag right by the scoreboard, and it's definitely waving.
Well, so 12 nothing, 2 unanswered touchdowns by Salinas in the first quarter, and we're going to take a little break and be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, Bruce, I think Salinas did exactly what they wanted to do on a big night here for Christopher High School. They've kind of taken a little bit of the crowd out of the game with their tough defense and early offense.
They really have. The Salinas' ability to move the ball almost at will here in that first quarter. And they decided to go for it on 4th down as we come back to the second quarter.
Yeah, I guess kicking into the wind was a no-go for Salinas.
Right, changed the strategy of Coach Zank and the offensive coordinator over at Salinas. Figured that they could get their 2 yards.
Yeah, and 4th down is a great opportunity to run the quarterback, which they just did.
Sure. So we've got Schaefer in the backfield again, and looks like straight drop back. Looked like he might have been trying to go to Zach Robinson, but
yeah, or even Poe Gaskins, and you look and Christian Davis was there on the good coverage.
So good coverage by Christopher.
Yeah, no, Christopher's kind of gone to a single high safety here. Looks kind of very much like a cover 3. So it looks like they're going to kind of give up the underneath stuff.
Back to empty set here.
And try to negate the big plays.
So like a little crossing pattern there to
number 3 for Salinas, John Mandala.
John Mandala. So yeah, it looked like it could have been a fumble, but now 3rd and 10. So.
Yeah, I don't think he made a football move, and then the ball got away from him there. Well, 3rd and long. This is Christopher.
You've got a downfield passer and an empty set. And,
yeah.
Christopher in that one high defense now. Richardson looking to throw, but he's being forced out. Yeah. He's a dangerous runner. Caught from behind there by, and looked like he lost that ball. That was number 55, Joe Fleming.
And that's
the big D end.
Absolutely, and he's he's an impact player for Christopher, and then was the perfect time to come up big, and he's going to need more moments like that because he's going to have opportunities to rush the passer if Salinas is going to throw. And, he's got to just beat the man in front of him to make a play, keep his team in the game.
So we've got that placement, and that looks like it's going to miss wide. So Matt Scott, who's had a real strong foot all night, in fact, put the one through the uprights before the time ran out. The end of the field.
I think
he's kicking into the wind is very difficult.
He's got a great leg, and it looked like the snap and the hold was not exactly clean. It looked like the snap was maybe a little bit bobbled and just threw off the timing of the kick, and it was kind of low and left, it seemed.
So great, again, great play there by Fleming on that 3rd down play to force the field goal attempt, and Fleming is a big D end, Baj, at 6'2", 260.
Oh yeah, he's prototypical. I mean, that's how you draw it up in the laboratory, and he's having a great season. That's his 9.5 sacks on the season.
Sanford with
after
a quick look out to Davis, who is met there by number 7, Javen Navarro.
Hickman.
Good stop by Navarro Hickman on that little swing pass to Davis.
Yeah, it looks like Christopher's trying to go with a little bit of a shorter passing game, try to keep the chains
up a little bit.
Try to keep the chains moving. They realize, Salinas is in a 2-high shell, playing a lot of cover 4, and so they're going to have to take the underneath stuff to keep the chains moving.
And maybe get Christian Davis out into some space.
Yeah, they've got to create some explosive plays here.
Christian Davis in motion. Fake give to Tyler Davis, and that ball is just thrown away.
Yeah, and number 50 was in the quarterback's face.
Zach Datton.
Yeah, and
putting
he's
pressure on.
Yeah, he's another impact player
Sanford.
for Salinas. He has 7 sacks on the season, and that D line for Salinas is stout, and they've put up a lot of statistics and are really controlling the game at this point.
So let's see what they've got up their sleeve at 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 here. Sanford looking downfield, a little.
He's pass interference on number 5.
He had number 13 Cole Sabala in.
And there was number 5 Tyler Carroll for Salinas on the coverage, and I think he just got there a little bit too soon for the pass interference, and that's going to give Christopher a first down. So I think, Salinas is doing everything in their power to keep Christopher in the game here. I think they want this thing to be close, Bruce.
Well, on that drive, it sure looked like. Well, let's see if what Christopher has, and hopefully they can get a little momentum here.
Yeah, well, you need a couple breaks and a couple things to go your way, and they have. So now they just have to take advantage of it.
And it looks like they've got Tyler Davis in the backfield, but nothing going.
Bad snap, and Sanford just had to fall on it to negate the turnover. So, they just move on to 2nd and long. But when you're, as a play caller, you want to be on schedule. You want to create some 3rd and short opportunities, 2nd and mediums, and it seems like Christopher just can't get on schedule. They're in 2nd and long and 3rd and long more often than not. So they're going to have to get ahead of the chains here and a little more on schedule to find some success, keep these drives moving.
Christopher 3-2 on the season. They've been moving the ball, used to moving the ball and putting up some numbers. So
I mean, they had a prolific outing against Hollister last week, so they just need
a little bit frustrating for as Sanford looks to
launch.
Scourgione got a receiver down there with, and he had Scourgione down there. Great defensive. Man, that Poe Gaskins got way up in the air.
He's one of those two-way players for Salinas. He's got the speed. He's a track guy, so he's going to stay with Scourgione. But Scourgione's got the size. He's got to go up there and come down with the rock, Coach, because that's the big play they need right there.
But Gaskins at maybe about 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", getting up there and getting a hand on that ball.
Yeah, he looks like he's got some hops.
Yeah. So again, 3rd and long, 3rd and about 15 as
Scourgione in motion.
Just to give and just rocked there by
57
by
Gomez.
Number 57 Gomez, and nothing doing.
Yeah, and again, a conservative play call for Christopher. They are just looking to flip field position and not turn the ball over, and so you just call a conservative run play, and you live to play another day and live to play another down for the next series.
Get the heck out of your own red zone.
Flag.
Part of the staff penalty marker.
Let's see what's going on here.
I'm counting players.
Been a lot of flags here in this game, Coach.
So far. This one may get put back in his pocket. Yeah, that's going to get waved off. You're always in trouble when the referee starts seeing double. but good crew on tap tonight.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the players safe and make sure that the game is fair.
So he puts a boot into that, and
and
it hit a player, and so that's going to be Christopher.
That's going to be Christopher Ball.
Yeah, that looked like it hit Zach Robeson, and
recovered by Davis.
By Tyler Davis. And Tyler Davis is all over the field.
Oh, no, between the Davis brothers, I think you are seeing double.
Yeah, that
literally.
And that's a real heads-up play. So when that ball touches a Salinas player, it is live, right?
Absolutely, and I think we hate to sound like a broken record, but special teams, Christopher has had an advantage all game, and again, they've just got to try to create something off of it in order to get back in this football game.
Right, we've got Tyler Davis in the backfield now with Ben Sanford. Got Christian Davis in motion.
on a wheel route.
And he's open, and he stays in bounds, and he's out of bounds. Looks like about at the 6 or 7 yard line.
Yeah, so they really are using that momentum from that turnover to create some field position. Now they're in the red zone, and they got to punch it in here.
Christian Davis making a great play coming out.
Oh, man, that was like a back shoulder wheel route. There was a defender over the top. Stanford put it just right in the hole where it had to be.
And his ability to turn it upfield, looking great on that play. Christian Davis and Stanford looking to swing it outside to Scargione, their big receiver. He looks he takes it up to about the 5 yard line.
Well, that's just a quick screen and throw it out to Scargione as fast as you can. And I love that play call because Scargione needs more touches.
Scargione at 6'2", 210, 215 is.
Oh yeah, well you got to make these smaller corners like Poe Gaskins tackle him, and he can get at least 3 or 4 yards out of it, and that way they can try to stay ahead of the chains here.
I mean, I like that matchup. That's that looks like it has Christopher's advantage, but
in the red zone, that's a jump ball.
Second, and there it is. That's that jump ball, and
just a little too far out of the back of the end zone, but that's the matchup we were looking at.
Yeah.
And the Christopher coaches saw the same thing.
So 3rd and 1, they can still get a first down here.
That's great. And so that 2nd and 1 call is really what I would refer to as a burn down. You've got 3rd down to get that extra yard, so why not take a shot on 2nd and short? And
looks like that ball's on the 6 yard line.
That's a great call.
You've got and you get an offsides call, so that could be that
little hard count.
Yeah.
By Stanford, way to sell it.
Yeah, that's going to be encroachment on Salinas.
Well, and that's going to slow them down a little bit because now in the back of their mind they don't want to be offsides again. They're just going to be a little slower off the ball, and so if Christopher can use that to their advantage and get a little bit of an extra step in the run game, they could punch it in here.
So we've got Christian Davis in the backfield, and that looks like that's going to be a designed run. Straight up Ben Sanford getting maybe a yard on that.
Well, maybe a wildcat, Coach. It looked like that was...
that was number 9. It was Tyler Davis.
Right. So I think they have Sanford out wide as a receiver, and then
so
they've
Tyler Davis at quarterback again,
and they're going with the wildcat in the red zone.
Yeah, and they're just trying to power their way in.
Oh, he's close.
He's very, very close.
Well, Coach, I love this play call with the Wildcat in the red zone because spread teams, when you've got the whole field to work with, there's a lot of options. But when the field gets condensed in the red zone, you really got to be able to get behind your O-line, buckle up your chin strap, and punch it in.
So they've got explain how that works. They put in the quarterback. They put in a second quarterback. Do they have a set group of plays for him? Or?
Oh, absolutely. So what they're trying to do is create a little bit of an advantage in the run game. And so what they're doing with Sanford is they're putting him at a wide receiver, and then they're switching Davis to the quarterback, and then they can put a blocking back in the backfield with him. Then they create some jet motion to have a lateral effect on the defense, and he can either hand that off for a jet sweep to the corner of the end zone or the pylon, and or he can pull it and he can follow his lineman up front. And usually it's a pretty basic offense, but the whole idea is you don't want your quarterback to take too many hits throughout the course of the game. And so, hey, create an extra running play for your quarterback, give the defense a little something to think about, and you can see it caught Salinas a little bit by surprise, and they had to burn a timeout there, and so now we'll see if Christopher goes back to it or if they're just going to go with their regular offense.
Looks like we have Sanford back at quarterback. We've got Tyler Davis in the backfield, and Scargione's out wide with Christian in that little triangle. So we've got 4 receivers out to the left, and that ball is in and out of the hands. It looked like that might have been Christian, or no, excuse me, Scargione.
Oh, Callahan maybe? Oh, Scargione. It's hard to tell if it's 5-2. But I love the play call. A little motion with the back to the far side, create a little more space in the middle with the tight bunch. It's a great play call, and Sanford with a guy in his face really put the pass on the money. You got to make those plays in the red zone.
Yes, you do. And now you've got Julian Rasuli attempting a field goal.
Great kick.
Nice kick.
Yeah, well.
Robledo on the hold, and Rasuli through the uprights.
Yeah, and again, it's Christopher with the special teams. I mean, you'd love to get 6 points right there, being on the 1 yard line. But, you know, you hate to come away with nothing in a game that's actually turned out to be closer than you would think.
From that first couple drives. And so we're at 7:18 left in the half with Salinas Cowboys up 12-3 over the host Christopher Cougars.
Yeah, and what's actually turning out to be a good game, more competitive than it was looking in the first quarter. Seems like Christopher's found their footing and got a little bit of momentum with the turnover on the punt, and
these little breaks. You know, you get third and long, and you get a pass interference call, and you get an automatic first down, and things can change. Right?
I would say the discipline for Salinas hasn't been top notch, but you know they're on the road with a big crowd on a Friday night, so you know it's punch counter punch.
So Rizzulli getting some instructions from the official on the kickoff.
Well, he's got the wind behind him here, so
that,
it'll be interesting to see what he does.
That might be Cole Sabala. Or, excuse me, no, that's, Rizzulli.
Yeah.
Julian Rizzulli to kick off.
Yeah, and he's got, we'll see what kind of leg he has, see if he can put it out the back of the end zone.
So it's a deep kick, and that's going to go through the end zone, again, kicking with the wind.
Yeah, well, I think, the wind is picking up, I would say that. And, Salinas is going into the wind, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to keep it on the ground.
Well, they're up by 9 points, so that's this is an offense that can put a lot of points on the board.
It's like a baseball score.
It's like a Hollister game.
Yes.
San Benito, excuse me. So we've got just one back, and Richardson gives to.
I would think it's Schaefer.
And it looked like Schaefer.
He seems to be having the hot hand. No, 41.
That is
not Schaefer.
Cowboy ball carrier, number 41, Mike Cortez.
Mike Cortez, senior Mike Cortez.
He looks like another big back. It seems like, they've got the thunder and lightning thing going. Poe Gaskins is the lightning, and you got a lot of big backs that are the thunder.
And they can certainly power that ball. They've got a big offensive line there. And they move too. I don't think we've seen it yet, but that counter tray where they'll pull the bolt guard and tackle to the play side. That's they've put up a lot of yards so far this season with that.
Oh yeah, that's a go-to play that I'm sure we'll see before the end of the night, and they like it out of this formation.
Right. So it's that fake and a give, or no, just a fake, and that is Richardson on the keep out there. We got a couple of flags.
A little bit of laundry. Could be a holding on Salinas.
Yeah.
But quarterback keep.
That looked to me like a more of a designed run because he didn't really put that ball in the gut of.
No, I think that could have even been that
Schaefer,
power tray that you were talking about. Because that's more of a counter to that jet sweep to the strong side, and it's a designed play for Richardson to keep it weak. And like you said, it turns into a big play every time, just like it did there. But I think Salinas got caught with a little bit of a holding call on the perimeter. And again, Christopher's getting a break. They're getting the hometown calls tonight.
So as opposed to about a 12-yard gain, that's a 10-yard loss, or 5-yard loss on that play. And we've got Schaefer in the backfield, looks like, or Cortez in the backfield. And that looks like to fire that ball, and it got
it was hard to see
tipped up in the air.
But Joe Fleming looked like he might have been right in the mix there. But, I think Salinas is taking a cue from, or Christopher's taking a cue from the Salinas D-line. And, hey, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up.
Yeah,
get your hands up. Knock it down.
Good things happen when you do the right thing.
Hey, well.
And those D linemen, they're fighting, trying to get in, fighting with their hands, and it certainly helps when you get a little help from talk of your linebackers, defensive backs. You can get your hands up. It looks like a pass. So this is a little roll, and he's got a receiver right out in the.
I think this is Robinson, number 2.
Robinson in the.
Yeah, and he hasn't really done much tonight, but he's a big-time player for Salinas. He's kind of a bigger, prototypical receiver, and they go motion away and then throw it back to him.
Richardson doesn't mind throwing the ball in the middle of the field either.
No, Richardson throws a great deep ball, actually. I think they're trying to create more short throws for him just to kind of get his completion percentage up, but he throws a great deep ball.
We've got Fellum in motion, and that little swing pass out.
Avon Curiel.
Curiel,
the
number
senior
4
from
Curiel.
Salinas, yeah.
So
and again, a quick
picks
pass.
up a couple yards.
Yeah, get it to the perimeter and, let your receivers get you those yards with the run after the catch.
So, and this short passing game really is Salinas' possession game.
Sure.
It can be there's a give up the middle.
Yeah, a little zone read action to 41. Looks like Cortez.
That's
is still in the
Cortez
game.
again, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're switching backs every series, but no, here comes Schaefer.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to go with Cortez out.
So you got Schaefer in the backfield. It's third and about 3.5 maybe. And that give is to Schaefer on the outside. He's got the first down and more as Davis brings him down with about a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, well, it looks like whenever Salinas goes trips to the field, Salinas is really attacking the short side, the single receiver side with the run, and they go a little tempo here. Same set, same play. This time it's a keep, though, with Richardson.
Richardson getting past the
but again,
scrimmage with a nice gain and chased out of bounds by Davis there, but
weak side run, opposite the trips, and do it with the running back, do it with the quarterback. I think Salinas has found something over there on that weak side.
They're so that's keep finding that edge over there. So we've got looks like some sort of flag.
Maybe a false start on Salinas.
Might have been two people moving at the same time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
First and 15 from the Cougar 25.
Well, you've got trips to the field.
You've got Schaefer in the backfield. And that give is to Schaefer.
Short side again.
Short side, got a flag on the play, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. But we'll see what this is.
This looks like it might be against Salinas as well. And you got somebody down. I can't tell what the number is, but there was a pileup on the far side.
So this is with 5:05 in the second quarter. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
So, Baj, we've got a couple of games of interest around the county tonight. Over in Watsonville, we've got Carmel up at Watsonville. Carmel 5-0 on the season, having defeated Salinas at the very beginning of the season. Nice win, playing Watsonville 4-1. What do you expect out of that game?
Well, I mean, I think Carmel has been pretty dominant so far this season. I mean, they've got Dakota Morningweg, who is really running with the ball well and a ton of yards, and they're throwing it to him as well. They've got a ton of offensive weapons, and they seem like they're going to be tough to stop. But Watsonville has a kind of a run-heavy offense where they can control the clock. So if they can really hold possession of the ball and keep Carmel's offense on the sidelines, I think that's the key to their success. But again, that's easier said than done. But it should be a good game, hopefully.
Yeah. How do you play offense against Carmel? Is just keep their offense off the field.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. I mean, anytime you've got a high-scoring offense, with a lot of playmakers, you've got to figure out a way to keep possession of the ball yourself. And in the age of the spread and the up-tempo, everybody wants points. But, time of possession is a statistic that does matter. So
it's a big first down here, first and about 23, and we got Richardson and he completes a pass in the end zone, and that's to number 4,
Yvonne Curiel.
Yvonne Curiel, and that's a great play at about 1st and 15, and that's going to be about a 33-yard touchdown pass from Richardson to Curiel.
Yeah, and again, they're attacking that short side of the field, and Richardson had somebody in his face, but he threw the ball up and gave his receiver a chance, and the corner was kind of turned around, and Curiel just went up and found the ball and came down with the big play. So, Christopher doing a good job of playing defense, but, you can't give up the big play, and, that's something that Salinas has lived off of in the past couple games is the big play. So, good play design by them. They've found a weakness with the short side of the field there.
And then just kept chipping away at that short side, chip away, and then go for the deep pass.
Yeah, take a deep shot. But
and spreading the ball around. I really like Richardson's choice in receivers and moving the ball around.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't say any one receiver is his favorite target. I mean, Curiel is touching the ball. Robinson's had a couple catches. It seems like they're trying to feature, Jeff Schaefer in the run game. So they're really spreading the ball around, and and Gaskins, of course, has had his touches. So they're trying to spread it around and keep the defense honest.
So that's going to be a personal foul against Christopher after the extra point, which will be assessed on the kickoff. So Christopher will be.
4:52 to play in the half. Cowboys 19.
We'll have a long way to go here.
And you've got Davis back to kick, and even though this is into the wind, it looks like the kicker for Salinas here, my guess is he's going to put this in the back of the end zone after the penalty. Kicking off from the opposite 45.
Sure.
Matt
Scott with a big foot, and Davis on about the 3-yard line to return.
Well, we'll see.
Also back for Christopher is number 22, Julian Rasuli.
Oh.
So that's going into the end zone. What a foot on
Scott.
Scott, the Salinas kicker. So
he could have a future.
I'll tell you, a great kicker and punter in high school, if they've got the discipline and really work on that skill, it can go a long way.
Absolutely, and it'll win you a couple games.
Sure.
Any kind of close game, usually comes down to a couple points. A big field goal can certainly win you a big game.
So let's see what Christopher can put together here. We've got Sanford in at quarterback, and we've got Scarcione split out to the left, looking at Scarcione at this point, and just has to eat the ball there with about a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, and again, Christopher's behind schedule in second and long.
So Dayton with big play coming off the edge there from that Zach Dayton from that defensive end position. Also in on that play for Salinas was number 5, Tyler Carroll. So backed up here again. That ball's off the ground. Sanford fields it, and he's on the run. He's just going to get the heck out of bounds. So he gets out of bounds and maybe picks up a yard, but it's going to be 3rd and about 11 at this point.
Yeah, no, I think this is, where Salinas' D-line really starts to pin their ears back and come after the quarterback. So, maybe you got to put an extra man in protection for Christopher and then try to get Scarcione on some sort of, double move or something where you can kind of create a big play and get out of this 3rd and long situation.
So you've got Davis in the backfield, and that's but look, a little quick out to Christian Davis, tries to get something outside. And he's able to turn it up and get about 3 yards, but not enough for a first down. So this will be an obvious punt situation for Christopher.
Yeah, and it seems like that's been Christopher's kind of MO tonight is, is a conservative game plan. Don't give the ball away. keep everything right in front of you and try to limit the mistakes, which they've done.
So we're 4:02 left in the first half. It's Cougars 3 and the Cowboys 19 with Christopher punting here with 4:02 left in the first half. Good rush. He gets off a heck of a punt. Not a lot of hang time, but this is taking a Salinas bounce all the way, and it's going to be down by Tyler Davis back there, who seems to be everywhere on this field.
Yeah, no, one of the Davises is everywhere, that's for sure. But Robinson's got to get away from the ball right there. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's kind of what happened when they turned the ball over. Is we used to call it poison or fire. There's a code word for, hey, get away from the ball, don't touch it, just leave it alone, because you don't want to touch the ball inadvertently and create another turnover.
And that the ball doesn't bounce in a normal way. It can go anywhere.
No, the ball is an odd shape. That is for sure.
So we get Salinas now backed way up. Looks like they're in an empty set with Richardson.
And they've got Gaskins stacked to the short side and then a tight bunch out on the left.
And they have numbers on that left side, but they go to the right. They're looking at
I think that was Curiel again.
Yeah, they looked at Curiel.
Yeah, who was really open on a slant and just kind of went through his hands.
And that's a great play, too. If you get on that quick slant, he's coming off the line so fast with a little space, that can turn wide open.
Oh, yeah, I think if he catches that, he probably takes it to the house.
So a little bit more spread out. They're not stacked on the left side, and they're got trips here on the right, but they're going back to left, and he had looked like Curiel there.
Yeah, I think there's a matchup there that they like with Curiel, and so they're kind of attacking it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
It's like they're trying to test A.J. Gomez, that dynamic inside linebacker for Christopher.
Yeah,
but Gomez is a terrific player. So
yeah, well, and you've got.
But he's back there. It looks like he's back there on a little bit of an island.
True, but this is a series where really they're just going
empty. That ball
is
to Gaskins, who makes a great catch and is stopped there by that's number 22, Julian Rasuli.
Yeah, and again, they're really working that short side of the field, and again, Gaskins, going deep, taking handoffs. He's really all over the field, and having a great game.
Yeah, they do like that short side. And again, we got the same formation here. Richardson back, looking to throw the ball, looking to his left and back to his right. And there he's got Curiel right in the middle of the field. And like we were saying on that last play, he had room to run and brought down by a host of Christopher players, and that ball's going to be down. But that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know there's 3 minutes left, but it seems like Christopher's kind of in a 2-minute situation. They've basically thrown the run game out the window, and they're going with all empty sets, stacks, bunches, spread out empty sets, and they're looking to sling the rock around the field, and they're having a lot of success.
Sure, and maybe mentally Christopher's thinking, we want to get in the locker room at this point, but you got 3.5 minutes left, and that flag's going to be waved off.
But this is where I look for Joe Fleming for Christopher to kind of step up. They've got to get a hand in his face, or at least make that pocket a little uncomfortable, so he doesn't have a clean.
Got to put that
window to throw
pressure on it, and we haven't seen much from the linebackers. Very little in the way of blitzes from Christopher. So.
No, it seems like
Richardson going deep, and he's got a receiver there, but he's nothing doing for Zach Robinson.
And then there's Julian Rasuli, and it seems like they could be targeting him a little bit. It seems like he's the guy on the pass coverage.
He was on the short side of the field, and he's come over to to the near side toward the Christopher bench, and they went right after him. And they've got a matchup right now too.
Well, Robinson's a great athlete. He's got the size,
6'2" versus about 5'9", and that's where he's looking.
It is.
So and he checks down, and he's got number 3 there, John Mandela, who lowers a shoulder pad, and
it looked like a little rub route over the top of the center, and. Richardson was looking deep at first over to Robinson and didn't like what he saw, and then he kind of read the rub routes and got it to Mandala, on the crosser.
So and Richardson really took a shot there, and so that's going to be a roughing the passer.
Well, that is another point of emphasis in the game in general, is to make it safer, and the quarterback has got to be kept upright.
He's one of the most vulnerable position.
Absolutely.
And so that's a big penalty, half distance to the goal line. So we've got first and goal at about just about the 5-yard line. So big packed backfield now with so Richardson looking to throw. He's got somebody in the corner, and that ball's up for grabs. I don't know who came down with it, but we're going to have a flag there.
It looks like Robinson came down with it, but they're ruling it incomplete.
Yeah.
A little bit of a questionable decision to just throw it up there from
it was a little
Richardson, a little dicey.
Yeah, look, good sportsmanship as all those players are coming up. You like to see that,
Sure.
And it looked like a game of, 3 flies up, and so
true
defensive holding. So that's going to go.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to get the slant route, and it was a little bit of a hold on the Christopher defensive back. But again, they've got that heavy set, two up backs, and then looks like Schaefer as the deep back.
Sure, and if you like these matchups, but that's going to be a give to Schaefer, who looks like he's going to be very close.
Oh yeah.
It
looks like Cortez is coming in for Schaefer.
2nd and 1, and you're in the heavy set. You just give the ball off here, Bosch?
I think so. I mean,
and that looks like that's
looked into me.
A give to Cortez there.
Yeah, no, I think,
they're celebrating.
Salinas is winning the war in the trenches. Yeah. I mean, their offensive line is really running the ball well. And
so we've got a Salinas player down. That looks like he's getting up, and that is Cortez, who was fighting for every last inch, but it's nice to see him get up. But I don't know where the spot would indicate touchdown, but
yeah, no, I think it's a touchdown. Looks like they're bringing out the field goal unit, and it'll be interesting to see if they look for their their swinging gate, or if they just go straight to the PAT formation.
So I missed the signal for the touchdown on that. So I apologize to our viewers. I think everyone else might have saw that, but we didn't see that. But obviously a touchdown, and Salinas going for the extra point with Matthew Scott, who puts it through the uprights. So with about a little over 2 minutes, 2:04 to play in the half, Salinas has taken a commanding 26-3 lead.
Yeah, as I was saying before, I think they're winning the battle up front. Their O-line is great in pass protection. I think Richardson had a clean pocket pretty much on all of his throws. And then in the run game, they're really pushing the pile. And then defensively, they're stuffing the run and getting after the passer. So, I think you would only expect that to continue.
So it's a good time to give a little shout out with about 2 minutes left in the first half to MCAET and all the students from Millennial Charter School who actually put this broadcast together. We're manning the cameras and doing a terrific job. Millennial Charter School is a charter school that's run out of the Monterey County Office of Education that is really focusing on kids who have a passion for the digital arts, digital media, and they're doing a great job. They've been doing a great job with us all season long with these television broadcasts. So hats off to Hamish Tyler and the team over at MCAET, as well as the students at the Millennium Charter School. So Scott to kick off with a little over 2 minutes left in the halftime. Coach Perlione probably just wants to get in the locker room at this point. Maybe they have to drop a couple of plays to get Sanford some space to throw the ball. But that's picked up by 22 Julian Rasuli and driven out of bounds there at about the looks like the 26, 28-yard line, something like that.
Yeah, I think in a situation like this, you're looking to create some rhythm for Sanford. which he hasn't had all game. So, I mean, if you can create some quick throws, easy windows, high completion percentage, just to kind of get a little bit of rhythm, heading into the second half. I mean, if they can even get just that out of this drive, I think that would be a positive.
I like a little bubble screen right here to Sergione.
Yeah, throw it out there to him.
Give him the ball in space. That give us to Tyler Davis, and he gets about to the maybe a yard on that.
And you had Sebastian Gomez there on the stop.
Gain of a yard. Balls at the 28, 2nd and 9.
Gomez coming up strong. And that linebacking core of Salinas.
Yeah, well, they've got Nick Marquez, number 44, who's been all over the field. So they're having a good game right now.
Sanford back, and he's looking at. That ball is off the hands of number 2, Connor O'Callahan. So
I like that play design, though. It's an easy, short completion. And it's kind of a quick throw. So I think you don't let the defensive line have time to get to the quarterback. They've just got to find some chemistry and be able to make a couple completions.
Find that open grass. You've got Gaskins doing a great job on covering Sergione. And now we got a little bit different matchup. Oh, and then that's just Sanford's going to be pulled down by
Joshua Gomez.
Josh Gomez.
The Gomez brothers doing their thing.
Doing a great job. And so Salinas taking a timeout, and we're going to take a break with a little over 1 minute left in the first half. So we'll be right back after this short break.
This program on MCAETtv is brought to you in part by the good folks from Technology and Operations at the Monterey County Office of Education, with leadership, support, and service to prepare all students for success.
Okay, this is Bruce Deeney. I'm with Boz Johnson, and we're at Christopher High School on a beautiful Friday night. Weather is perfect. We've got a little over a minute left in the first half, and this half has been all Salinas Cowboys. The offense moving the ball up and down the field almost at will, and Christopher trying to find their mojo on offense.
Yeah, and they haven't found much, and credit to the Salinas defense. And it looks like Salinas just called a timeout with 1 minute left because they want to get another possession. And I look for Salinas to be really aggressive here. That's kind of been their attitude all night, and so don't be surprised if they go.
Line drive, oh no, that's in Gaskin's hands, and he can move.
Uh-oh.
So he's got momentum, and he's going up the sideline, and he cuts back, and he's going to go all the way.
There is a flag back here.
Oh, my goodness. But Gaskin's showing his athleticism on that.
Oh, yeah, he was
showcasing.
He was showcasing the track speed there.
There he goes.
But no, I think Salinas wants to be aggressive here. So, obviously they were looking for a special teams play, but they'll still get the ball and they'll have some time to work. So we just got to see what the penalty is.
Boy, Gaskin's showing his speed on that, right, Bosch?
Oh my God, he's got some moves. But you can see why, Salinas is trying to game plan for him to get the ball in his hands.
Sure.
I mean, you throw him at running back, you throw him at receiver, he's an outside receiver, he's an inside receiver, he's a punt returner. You're just trying to create touches for your most explosive player, which he is, and they've done an excellent job of that.
So with us tonight, Boz Johnson, and Boz has been high school football coach for a long time, both at Robert Louis Stevenson School and Monte Vista Christian, offensive coordinator, and put together phenomenal offenses over the last couple of years. And you've also been a defensive coordinator.
Yes, and I had phenomenal defenses as well too. So but football is a lot of fun, and I think we've all felt the impact of the game in a positive way, and we just want to be around it and watch these young men have some success on the field.
Sure. Well, and you've done a great job over your career. What I've noticed is making sure people are in the right place on the field at the right time, and that ball is a quick pass across the middle to John Mandala, brought down there by number 3 A.J. Gomez.
And it looks like Salinas is going tempo.
Yeah, they're going to go upbeat, little short swing to John Mandela over there.
But the clock is going to keep running. He is inbounds. So the Salinas is going up tempo here, 2nd and 4.
I believe they have one timeout to work with, but
yeah, they're going to keep it in the pocket, and Richardson's
he just
going
throws
deep.
it up there, and that is almost picked off by number 35 Tyson Johnson.
But that's the matchup he wanted. Robinson going deep, but Tyson Johnson saw it coming, and he gave Julian Rasuli a little bit of help over the top, and he needed it.
And you got about a 6-inch height advantage right now with Zach Robinson over Rasuli here. So you got to be looking at that matchup, and looks like a little miscommunication with 26 seconds left. This is Bruce Deeney with Boz Johnson here at Christopher High School on a beautiful Friday night. So that's going to be back. Cowboys up by about 5 yards here.
But the clock is stopped. And again, they're going to go with the empty formation here, and then Christopher in a deep cover 4, just trying to keep everything in front of him. And
so that ball's in and out of the hands of Mandela.
But he was, Salinas has receivers running wide open all over the field. Fourth and 9 here.
And they like that same set. Just going with the same set, looking at like that matchup, and they're right at that sticks, but they might be a little short there, depending on where this is marked. But
they might have to bring out the first down.
First down.
I thought they were going to have to bring out the chain gang.
Right at the stakes there, and that's a matchup that they like.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Salinas has been good at identifying matchups and figuring out where they want to go with the ball, and they've been successful at it.
So he's got a lot of room here with Robison, but that's that crossing pass to Chad Fellum.
Yeah, and again, Richardson really spreading it around to a lot of different receivers. I think everybody's touched the ball tonight.
And this is what Salinas likes to do, is go fast here, where they're going to just spike that ball, and they'll be able to get, if they stop the clock. So they might have to put a second or two back on, but or maybe not.
Yeah, well, 9 seconds. I mean, maybe you take one shot and then you let your kicker come out and try a field goal.
So yeah, and that's what they're going to do. You've got Richardson. Look, he throws underneath to Mandela. And Mandela's just going to see what he can get, and boy, he takes it down to the about the 3-yard line, and this is going to be an interesting conversation. Because
yeah, could be a block.
If he was in bounds and they were able to get a timeout. So it'll be interesting to see what there were a couple different flags.
It looks like the penalty will be declined.
Okay. So that'll be the half. So at halftime, we on a beautiful night up in Gilroy, California, it's the Salinas Cowboys 26 and the Christopher Cougars 3. I'm Bruce Deeney with Boz Johnson. It's been all Salinas here tonight, Boz, in the first half, and I got to tell you, it's a pleasure working with you. How you doing so far tonight? Having fun up here?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, high school football is a lot of fun, and I think we've got 2 great teams that are playing at a high level, and it's just a great atmosphere. I mean, you've got the dancers coming out here at halftime, and it's kind of a packed house with the crowd. So I mean, you definitely get a great vibe here at Christopher High School. It seems like they're doing an excellent job, supporting all their athletics, and they have great facilities, and what more can you ask for?
But the quick start by Salinas really did tend to take the crowd out of it. There was a lot of excitement as the game started, but a couple of quick scores by Salinas. Interesting that they decided to go for 2 and right away rather than put the point on the board, but especially with their kicker, perhaps they have so much confidence in their kicker that they know they'll pick it up with a field goal at some point. I don't know what that's like.
No, I mean, what I take from it is that, Salinas is going to be aggressive. They're going to go for 2. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to take their shots, and they're going to have their pedal on the metal, and they're not going to let up. And so I think, that philosophy has been pretty evident throughout the course of the game, and even especially, the last 3 minutes of the half, where they kind of went with their 2-minute up-tempo, throw the ball around with 3 minutes left, and then they did it again with less than a minute left.
Sure.
And they're calling timeouts to get the ball back. So, they're really trying to use the clock and their timeouts to create extra possessions, to put points on the board. But, just because they're up 26-3, don't expect them to, stop, pushing the ball down the field.
Well, it'll be interesting what adjustments Coach Tim Perleone makes and Christopher, see if they can combat this powerful Salinas offense. And we're going to take a break for halftime, and we will be back in about 15 minutes.
For decades prior to Christopher High opening, the Christopher family contributed to education in Gilroy in many ways, including hosting crab chipino feeds, donations of land, and funds to build schools. After our community honored the Christopher
I have 54 wonderful young ladies and 1 great gentleman that is part of the Salinas High Cheer program for a total of 55, and we have 5 squads that make up our cheer program. So we have 3 sideline squads. That is our freshman cheer, our JV cheer, and our varsity cheer, which go along with our football team and our basketball team to support our athletes on the field and on the court during their seasons. And then we have 2 competition teams. We have what's called a show cheer team, which is a stunt and cheer team, and a song pom team, which is a dance team. And we take them to statewide competitions to compete against other schools for different places and to qualify at nationals. And last year, our song pom team actually were the national champions down in Anaheim. Most of our practices revolve around what they are performing on the field during halftime. It's usually about an every other week learning curve. So we'll take 2 days, learn a new routine, practice it for the rest of the week as we are overlaying the last routine on and going through. So 1 home game, 1 away game, we are doing a routine. So, and then in like 2 weeks is our homecoming. So that creates what we call an all squad routine. So not only are they learning their routines for their individual squad, but we do a special all squad routine, which incorporates all 55 of them into one routine for special events like the first day of school or homecoming, which then takes extra work because now you are corralling 55 of them to look good together. So only 3 of them are actively going during the games because the 2 are just the competition squads. So they have their own thing and they are not associated with the games. And they are made up of cheerleaders off of the 3 squads. So for example, you can be on varsity cheer and you are stunt competition squad. Okay. So we bring in a choreographer that works with our JV cheerleaders to teach them a routine, and then they have a coach that will help them clean, learn new stunts and new skills to then incorporate into those routines. And like I said, they are learning a new routine for every home and away game. So you're looking at 3 different routines for the 3 different squads because they're going at their own levels and their own talent basis. We are so blessed here at Salinas High to have a training academy of students and a wonderful head trainer in Gina Martorella that is always there to help us with our bumps and bruises. And we definitely know where the ice room is because elbows get thrown or people get hurt while we're learning, but we try and be as safe as possible. You know, we just like you would do with any other skill, whether it be on the field, a basketball court, a baseball field, whatever, you build, you progress into a stunt. So we're not going, you know, we're starting small, right? We're walking before we're running, you know, we're crawling before we're walking, and into building those things because obviously safety is our number one concern, but getting a great end result on the field at the end is our goal. So we try and up our game every week. We take our roles here at Salinas High as a cheerleader very seriously. Myself and Coach Zink get together at the beginning of the year, and we kind of map out what the year looks like, as in where our games are, how we think that will the competitiveness of that game will be, and what we need our crowd to do. Because like you said, I mean, the energy will feed the energy. So we really treat it as one entire program. It's not a football team. It's not a cheer program. It's not a band. We are one entire program, and we really work together to get that. So about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, our student section actually resides here in one of the end zones. We moved our cheerleaders in front of the student section because we wanted to make sure it wasn't about the cheerleaders just being out there and being seen. It was about them doing their job and making sure they're interacting with their students and getting them riled up at the right time, quiet at the right time, all that kind of stuff. So the football coaches actually get together and put together a PowerPoint presentation that they present to the cheerleaders at the beginning of the season, that I highly encourage and work with them to do, so they truly understand the 12th man aspect of the importance of the crowd and them leading the crowd to be to really influence the game at the appropriate time. So we talk about, when we're on offense, we want to make sure it's a little quieter so our quarterback can call audibles and work with the plays on the field. When we're on defense, and especially on the student side of the end zone, we want to be as loud as possible to kind of help disrupt or cause a delay a game, because we find that as a success because we are part of the team. Right? So we take a lot of pride of not only what we can show our crowd at our halftime, but all 4 quarters we are there as another person on the field for our football team. Not cheer and band, but we have football players in band, so it's actually fun to watch. So they'll be doing their routine, and a couple of them are in their football uniform because they've run off the field and they need to pick up their instrument. So Miss Lamar does a great job, as well as the school administrations, to really encourage kids to follow all their passions, and we try and work as coaches to make sure that they have the opportunity to do that. But like I said, that really works out well just because we work closely as a partnership, just making sure when the band goes out, our cheerleaders sit and they cheer for the band, because that is also a huge part of this program. And we've had games where the football players don't necessarily run into the locker room. They stay out and they watch the cheerleaders do their performance to encourage them, because they know the importance of that. So it's really a team aspect here, and we're really blessed for that. That's not only great for this program, but that's really just the atmosphere we try and promote here at Salinas High, just that they're all Cowboys and to encourage each other and to be a family unit.
It means to be a cheer captain is to just have a sense of leadership and being able to lead others and just take control, but also growing as a team and still being a part of the team. You're just are leading others as well.
I think it's just like leading the younger girls into a more getting them ready for when they're upperclassmen and being on varsity, yeah, and
I'd come to Salinas High games since I was a kid, and I'd grown up doing cheerleading, and it's always been kind of like my goal to be able to be a Salinas High cheerleader and be able to wear the white uniform and to wear the boots and do the boot dance, and just I've always grown up wanting to do it.
I've always had a passion for cheerleading, and watching my sister cheer for Salinas High, I've always wanted to do it since I was little.
The underclassmen, if you're on freshman or JV, you wear the purple uniform, and then once you graduate up to varsity, you get to wear the white uniform. There's a lot of fundraising involved. There's so many components that go into it, wearing the boots, wearing the uniform, having the cheer bows, getting the poms, wearing all the different type of practice uniforms and warm-ups. It's just, there's so many components to it, especially in clothing, that we have to raise a lot of money for it.
Our competitions are in state, and they're not very local. This year we have a few that are in Santa Cruz and competing against local high school teams here. The furthest we've gone was LA in Disneyland, Anaheim.
Well, when you think of a football game, you think of the players on the field, and there's cheerleaders there, and there's the band there. It's a show basically, and a lot of people come to our game specifically because we make sure we tie in all of those components, and that's what really makes a football game is that having the players playing on the field, but having the support system of their band and their cheerleaders, but making sure that the football players also really appreciate having the cheerleaders and the band there because we're there for them.
This is my 5th year here and my 2nd year as the head coach. I started out after college. I never intended to coach or teach, and got talked into it by one of my old coaches, and started out at Palma coaching, moved on to Hollister, and then I was at North Salinas for 10 years as the head coach there. And then we had my wife and I had a son, and just seemed like I was never seeing family, and so I didn't want to be a head coach anymore. So I came over across town to Salinas, and I was an assistant coach to Coach Goodbody for 3 years. And then I got talked into applying for the head job by my wife, and and then ever since then it's been great. This is the 2nd year doing that. We live about a mile from here, and my wife's an alumni, and it kind of worked out great for us. We honestly keep our focus on getting better every day. Definitely growth oriented as far as the way we run the program. We're kids first. And what we want is we want every kid to get better every day. So our focus is always on every kid getting better. We want to keep our focus as coaches on coaching and teaching, and really emphasizing the fact that we want you to get better every day. And we want their best effort, obviously, and that's definitely part of getting better every day. In the program, we have 24 coaches total, freshmen through varsity. I'm big on, we like to specialize, so we have an inside backer coach and an outside linebacker coach, and we want kids getting coached constantly on what they're supposed to be doing, and just seems like the old method of having 3 guys that coach everything just seems like we were missing that. So we kind of expanded our staff, and because we do have numbers here on varsity, we have quite a few kids every year. We're able to really 2-platoon our system, so most guys that play offense only play offense. Not everybody, but most. And most guys that play defense only play defense, which allows us to really get a lot more coaching in, and it allows us to get kids a lot better. 8 to 10 kids per coach. Depending on the day and the position and all that, but never more than 14, 15 at a position. Usually in the 8 to 10 range. Running backs we don't have a ton of, maybe 5 for them, but again, it just depends on the day. We talk about being Cowboys all the time, not so much not as an ego thing, we're the Cowboys, but more like we're the Cowboys and we want to represent ourselves well with everything we do. One phrase I like is be the best Cowboy you could be every day. So be respectful, be polite, and they're human beings and kids, and they're going to make mistakes, and I try to make sure that no mistake is life or death, because they're kids and they're going to mess up just like we did when we were kids. But we want every time they make a mistake for it to be a teachable moment, and for us to have an opportunity to, prepare them to be adults when it is a little bit more life and death, and it is a little bit more important. Evan Smith is still playing for Tampa Bay. He's I can't remember what year, I want to say 2004 graduate, still playing offensive line for Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers. We've had quite a few over the years make it on to college. Matt Castaneda right now is playing up at Willamette, playing quarterback, and we got guys sprinkled around all over the place in the area. And I'm big on, I don't really care if you play football in college, but if that's what it takes to get you there, then that's what we're going to do. It's the only thing that you can predict success for with kids in school. Socioeconomics, all those things have nothing to do with how successful you're going to do in school. 100% of success in school is based on being involved. And whether that's athletics or activities or, clubs, whatever it happens to be, the only statistic that can say that you're going to do well in school is being involved.
So we are back live. This is Bruce Deeney with Boz Johnson at Christopher High School in Gilroy, California. We've been watching the Salinas Cowboys taking on the Christopher Cougars, and in the first half it's been all Christopher so far. At halftime we had a great ceremony, and that honored it was the first class of the Christopher High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And interestingly, Christopher is one of the newer high schools in the area, just opening in 2009, and the athletic fields were just, this athletic complex where we are tonight was just completed in 2016. So new school, great school, beautiful. When we drove in tonight, it's the first time I've been on campus, and very impressed at the structure and cleanliness and the order that everything was in. So they're doing a great job up here at Christopher School. But I just wanted to pay special attention to, there were to number one, Don and Karen Christopher. The Christopher family, Christopher Farms, actually donated the original 10 acres for this campus back when the school was just a dream. Don and Karen Christopher being inducted into the Salinas Athletic Hall of Fame, partly because of their philanthropy, and Don just is a grandparent at the school, and without his generous support, this stadium that we're in would not have been completed, making a very significant gift to its completion, and was a significant catalyst in getting this thing done. Also tonight, the school honored Jeff Ross, who has retired now, but was a teacher in the Gilroy Unified School District, was here when Christopher opened for some 33 years, and was a 36-year swim coach. And his claim to fame, Jeff Ross, was that they won 53 meets in a row. I don't think he ever lost a meet. And the final inductee was Darren Yaffe. And Darren Yaffe was the first athletic director here at Christopher High School. And if you think about what an athletic director has to do just every year in terms of, hiring coaches and monitoring what gear gets bought. I mean, think when you're starting with absolutely nothing and you're starting from scratch. I mean, it'd be a great challenge, but you're basically staffing all your coaches, ordering all your uniforms, and again, Darren Yaffe did a great job, and with not only the opening of the school, but establishing something like 22 different sports teams that have all been competitive, and was instrumental in the planning of this athletic facility. And Darren Yaffe now retired to a peaceful life of just teaching history. I'm Bruce Deeney. I'm back with Boz Johnson, and we're at Christopher High School in Gilroy, and it's been all Salinas, Boz.
Yeah, Bruce, I think the second half is about to get started here, and Salinas is going to get the ball, and I would imagine they're thinking about a quick score. They're going to keep that aggressive mentality, and we're just really going to get to see what Christopher's made of, and what kind of heart they have if they want to play hard in the second half and kind of put up a fight and gain a little bit of momentum and try to make a game out of this thing.
Julian Rasuli to kick, and he's with the wind. So let's see if they can put this ball back there and keep Salinas on their heels a little bit. That ball's not handled by Robeson, and picks up a few yards after mishandling that ball a little bit.
Yeah, stopped by A.J. Gomez. He was on the pile there, the linebacker for Christopher, who needs to put a little bit of his own stamp on this game from the defensive side of the ball. I think he's looking to get his troops rallied and try to come up with a stop here.
He's a big-time player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been all over the field, but I think, Salinas has just kind of done whatever they wanted to do, and now it's time for Christopher to put up some resistance.
Mm-hmm. They're staying away from Joe Fleming, the big D end. Actually, they go right. It was a pass out the side. I didn't catch that, but I looked like they were coming right at Joe Fleming. But the big D end on the near side here, Fleming 6'2", 260. Staying away from him so far.
Yeah, no, I think, it's all about matchups, and whether that's matchups on the perimeter with the defensive backs and the receivers, and that's matchups in the trenches with the O-line and D-line. And, you got to find that weak link and, try to get some yards.
So Salinas, trying to get that passing going with a swing pass or a pass out there to Chad Fellum.
Yeah, and that looked like a possible run-pass option for Richardson. Looks like a little zone run up front with some hitches out on the perimeter, and he saw everybody was biting on run, so he pulled it and threw the hitch out there.
Good decision then. So on that run-pass option, explain to our audience what's happening there a little bit.
Oh, well, it just means the offensive line is running a run play, and the receivers are running pass routes, and it's up to the quarterback to give it up to the running back if he likes the numbers in the run game, or throw it out to one of the receivers. Obviously, you have to trust your quarterback to make the right decisions and really be able to read the defense.
So Richardson there showing his athleticism, picking up a first down, and that's what Richardson been able to do all day. When that play broke down, he's able to use his feet, good field sense. Kept it in bounds and got a nice.
Yeah, and on third down, they really like to run the quarterback to pick up those first downs and keep the chains moving.
So we've got Jeff Schaefer in the backfield, and give to Schaefer, not much there. Trying to look like he's trying to go off guard there, but nothing doing.
And Joe Fleming's getting up off the bottom of the pile, so it looks like he might have been in the mix there.
So they moved him. They moved him to the.
They've got to try to
find
a way to get him into the game, and sometimes the best way is to move him around.
Yeah. And
put him at D
going
tackle.
Away from Fleming now, and that'll be an overthrow. But Richardson looks like he was going for Chad Fellum on that.
Yeah, but they're looking to create some favorable matchups for Fleming, whether it's at inside a D tackle or outside a D end, and see if they can get his motor started here so he can make a play to help turn this game around. And another big play, another big opportunity, 3rd and 7.
We've got that's a fake to Gaskins, and that's Richardson off tackle, and he's trying to find something outside. Looks like he has picked up the first down there.
And again, Salinas staying very consistent to their philosophy of they want to run the quarterback on 3rd down to convert, and that looked like that power tray, quarterback counter where they're pulling the guard and the tackle away from, where the running back's going, and then the quarterback just follows his guard and tackle up the field, and Richardson's a great runner.
Yeah, now you got Richardson out to, that looks like number 4, Ivan Curiel. So Salinas picking up the tempo a little bit here.
Yeah, and then saw a little soft coverage there on the short side. A little quick out by Curiel and an easy pass and throw. Kind of get you in 2nd and short.
Gives to Schaefer. Schaefer's trying to find something up the, and then brought down there by. Again, we're here. There's. Who's on the bottom of that pile again?
Yeah, it looks like some extracurricular activities. Hard to tell
on the
who's
bottom
in the
of that.
middle of it, but Christopher could use some help right now.
That's what you call a conference.
Powwow.
Huddling up there.
Did you see what happened? No, I didn't see what happened.
Did you see what happened?
Did you see what happened?
They're doing a good job tonight. The officiating crew, that'll go against Christopher as a conduct call, but we've got Dave Evans as referee, Colin Allison as umpire, Larry Hanlock as the head linesman, and Glenn Davis line judge, Clint Agus as the back judge. All these guys have been refereeing for a long time. It's a good crew here tonight for this game.
Yeah, and I think you're just seeing a little bit of frustration by Christopher kind of coming out there where, they're just, not happy about the way this game is going, and they want to change it.
So, and that's a quick pass. That's up to John Mandela, and Mandela brought down hard there at the just at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, and a little play action fake by Richardson, and it looked like kind of a 4 vertical type of shot, type of concept.
They like that 4 verts. They just want to beat you.
Well, whenever you got a single high safety, you're looking to hit one of those slot receivers, in the middle of the field. You look off the free safety and then throw it to the other receiver, and it can be an easy catch and throw as it was there.
So that give is to Schaefer, who was in, and basically yet it's in untouched, and that's all Salinas behind that big offensive line. So Schaefer taking it in for his second score of the evening.
Yeah, Schaefer's having a great game. I mean, between him and Richardson, they're really controlling the clock and, keeping ahead of schedule as far as the chains go. They haven't really been in too many second and longs or third and longs. They're in second and medium, second and short, third and short, and they're converting, mostly on the ground on that particular series. They got the big chunk play with the 4 vertical concept to the 1 yard line, but it was all running plays with Schaefer and Richardson up to that point.
So set up by the long pass from Richardson to John Mandela, and then Schaefer punches it in for a 1 yard score, and the extra point there by Matthew Scott has got Salinas up 33-3. So Christopher really looking for answers here when they get the ball back.
Yeah, I think this is the point of the game where, you really test your will and, your fortitude. It's how bad do you want it, when the game's not going your way. And, Christopher's a very well-coached group, so I don't expect them to lay down, but I do think they need to get the ball into Sturgione's hands on some quick passes, let him break a couple tackles, and see if they can, find some matchups, in the secondary that they can go after.
Sure, it looks like a penalty against Salinas will work in Christopher's favor. So we've got number 22 Julian Razzulli and Christian Davis back to return. Again, Matthew Schaefer kicking off with a short little pooch kick, fielded there by A.J. Gomez. So Christopher with 20, at their own 26, 1st and 10, looking to put something together here.
Yeah, they just got to find some rhythm, figure out where they want to go with the ball. Been a couple kind of funky snaps already tonight. They got to get a clean exchange between the center and the quarterback with a good snap. Just really focus in on the little things and the details just to try to create some rhythm for their offense here.
And Gomez kind of limping off the field. That's not a good sign for Christopher. He's holds down that defense in the middle from that middle linebacking slot. So let's see what Ben Sanford could put together with the Christopher Cougars, and it looks like somebody might have been moving on the for Christopher, and this is not how you want to start. So
no, they look a little out of sorts as far as I can tell, but it only takes one play to change the momentum, and you can see when they got the big play in the first half with the punt return that they were able to recover. They got some big plays, so they just gotta try to
match up
something
here with Skurlione out there, and the ball goes to him.
There
He's
you go.
able to put it out for a nice gain. That's
maybe
10 yards.
Maybe that's the spark they need. Try to figure out how to get it to Skurgione, let him make some plays with his legs after the catch, and get this thing back on track.
Skurgione signaling coach he wants the ball back. Same thing.
I think they're going to have to put him in the backfield, maybe hand the ball off to him.
But I like this matchup here. They've got numbers there on the left-hand side, right?
Oh, yeah. No, they can try to set the edge there with Davis and a little rollout. They're trying to go to Skurgione again, but number 7 for Salinas was really tight with the coverage. He wasn't really, faked out, and that was Javen Navarro-Hickman. And so he knew, Skurgione's a key to their success, so he had the lockdown, tight coverage there.
Ben Sanford taking a shot there after he got rid of that ball. Very close on that one.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a little bit of a limp right now.
Yeah, not getting up a little bit slow on that, but he's a gamer, and it looks like Christopher's going to use a timeout. So With 8:49 left in the second quarter, we've got the Salinas Cowboys up 33-3 over the host Christopher Cougars, and we will be right back after this short announcement.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we are back with the Christopher Cougars after a nice gain to Scourgione. Looking to move the chains here a little bit. 3rd and about 6 here. Needing a first down. Got Christian Davis in motion, and that's just straight into the hands of Jason Navarro-Hickman.
Yeah, who's had a great game. I mean, it seems like he's gotten matched up with Scourgione and had some success. And there, you get a lot of pressure in Richardson's face, and he throws it up there, and he's at the right place, the right time, and takes advantage of it.
And Ben Sanford really limping off the field right now.
Yeah, well, I think Coach took that time out just a minute ago to give him some extra time to kind of get settled and shake it off. But he looks like he's getting checked out by the trainers right now, and hopefully he's going to be okay.
And Sanford a real leader on this team. So we've got Salinas. Oh, the Richardson just pulling it out, saying, I want this one.
Oh, sure. No, he ripped it out of the pocket there and thought he saw some green, but he got ridden out of bounds. And, again, we've got some laundry on the field.
Sure. And that's really on that option. He's just going to put that ball right in the belly of his running back, in that case Schaefer. And Schaefer doesn't know he's getting the ball or not. And he'll if he leaves it there, he gets it. It gets pulled out.
Yeah.
So
no, the only thing you can do there is put the ball on the ground. But other than that, whether it's a give to the running back or the quarterback decides to keep it, as long as the ball is not on the ground, it's hard to make a wrong decision with the kind of game both the quarterback and the running back are having tonight.
True. So this is Richardson looking to pass the ball, and he checks down to his receiver on that near side, that short side of the field, and that's again, that's Ivan Curiel, who's gone to a number of times tonight.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's a matchup they like or what's going on, but he seems to be getting a lot of the targets here tonight and having a great game, really making the most of all of his opportunities.
And brought down by Joe Fleming out there, made a great tackle out there.
Yeah, much better in space than I would have thought.
And that's that ball's complete on the sideline.
Looked like he might have been bobbling it a little bit, but they're going to give it to him.
They're going to give it to Curiel again there.
No,
nice
they have a matchup they like, or something's going on.
Yeah. Well, we've got Carl Richardson really moving his Salinas Cowboy offense. And looking to pass the ball again, going deep. He's got Curiel across the middle, and Curiel goes in the end zone untouched. So that's another Salinas touchdown. Salinas going up 39-3 with 7:50 in the second quarter. Baj, did you expect this?
At the beginning of the game, I thought Christopher coming off the really good showing against Hollister that they'd have a little more juice coming into this game. And really be able to put up some better numbers offensively, but I think it just goes to show you how good Salinas really is. I mean, their defense is really putting the clamps down, and you can't run, you can't pass. There's just not much space to really get anything done, and they've also created turnovers as well, and they've turned those turnovers into points.
Extra point there by Matthew Scott. Yes, they they just have not been able to capitalize when they put together a good drive and couldn't punch the ball in from the 1 yard line, had to settle for the field goal. but this Salinas team looking very strong.
Oh yeah, they look sharp. I mean, I think they got kind of punched in the mouth early with their matchup against Carmel at home, but it seems like they've really found their footing as the season's come along. And as they say, it's not how you play at the beginning of the season, it's how you play at the end. And we're right in the middle of league play. I mean, it's in full swing, and so they're really hitting their peak as far as I'm concerned.
Sure, and we can't forget that we are looking at two CCS division champions here.
Oh, absolutely.
Tonight, yeah. So
the level of football is extremely high, but Salinas has played extremely well on the road. I mean, they seem very comfortable in this hostile environment.
Christopher, the 2017-18 CCS Division 4 champs after a great season, two-time NBL League champs, and against tonight a much more powerful Salinas team, fielded there by Christian Davis, who looks to find something, gets across the midfield and is powering his way up to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and really a great kick return. I think that could be the spark they need to get things moving, I hope. But I would say, Christopher is well coached. They've been really good on special teams, all night. I mean, I don't think they've really made any mistakes in that phase of the game. They just offensively they haven't been able to create too many opportunities, and as a result, their defense has been on the field a lot.
Sure, and that tires you out. You lose a sense of rhythm on offense, and your defense gets tired. And Salinas is going to move you around on.
Oh, and they're going to go tempo, so they're going to move you around up front. But then when they start going tempo and it's play after play, you do start to wear down. That's part of the philosophy.
So
of
on
that
this near side of the field,
system.
we've got Scourgione defending against Gaskins, which is a little bit of a flip-flop of what we've seen before.
Yeah, and I think we might have a change in quarterback here.
It looks like it.
Looks like number 2.
Yeah, we've got Connor O'Callahan in at quarterback, and
he's a wide receiver by trade, but with the injury to Sanford, it looks like he's going to have to step in here.
He'll have to step in and take over those responsibilities. Sanford is up and moving around, but apparently looks like he's nursing his hip. Maybe taking a pointer on what shot to the hip on that.
I mean, that can be a painful injury, and it's something you don't want to re-aggravate. And, maybe it's not a bad opportunity to get your back up some reps, in this type of situation.
At this point, you're down 37 points, and you've got a quarterback that took you to the playoffs last year, and maybe just give him a little break. Don't push it too much.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a long season, and health is imperative.
So that's a snap that goes afoul, and looks like Callahan just got to fall on that ball with a flag that comes well after the play is signaled dead. So it'll be interesting to see what this. And that might have been maybe a late hit piling on there.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a low snap that O'Callahan kind of had to jump on, and then he had a couple Cowboys in his face there, so could be a little extracurriculars after the play.
So O'Callahan looking to get something started here. That looks like it's going to go against personal foul against Christopher. So that's a little bit of a reversal, maybe that's unfortunately it may get a little chippy.
I think you're exactly right. The frustration starts to mount, and these things happen. I mean, it's football. It's a physical game, and I would say, this game in particular, Salinas has had the physicality, and I think you could make the argument that they are the more physical team up to this point, and I think that's really showed itself. Pretty evident.
They're definitely winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. So, and got Martorella there. Looked like he was going to make that tackle. Got forced out. They just got inside the big defensive end. We haven't called his name too much, but number 18, Nathan Martorella, following his brother's footsteps, is really holding down the part of holding down that Salinas defense, and I think they're just keeping away from him. Number 18, that big defensive end.
Yeah, no, he looks like a a player, kind of an outside linebacker, stand-up end, and he can rush the passer, and he's doing it in the, in the run game too.
That's a gift to Tyler Davis on that, trying to find some running room.
And a little bit of a flop by Marquez, number 44. Maybe he should join the drama club at Salinas High School. But in all seriousness, he's actually had a really good game.
He's had a good game. So big third down here, third and about a mile.
Yeah, maybe 2 miles.
It's the offensive coordinator's nightmare here, but
well, what's the play call for third and 30?
You got a special book for that.
I think this is where you go with the hook and ladder, something like that.
Just try to get a couple yards, and it's interesting. Essentially the same play call they did in the first quarter when they were third or long. Just try to get a little room up the middle.
Again, it's the long view. I mean, Sanford's sitting because they've got a game next week, and to that same notion, they don't want to put any plays on tape, that can be seen by their opponent next week that'll be used against them. So they're just trying to play it really close to the vest, I think, and just get out of here, no more injuries, and not show too many plays offensively to give any ammunition to the opponent next week, and hopefully Sanford can kind of shake this thing off, and that's the thing. It's not a 1-game season. It's a 10-game season.
Sure, and that's Gaskins fielding the ball there, and he gets a great block there by number 9, J.J. Chin, and Gaskins taking it up the sideline, cutting back inside, and he could go. Oh, he's going all the way in.
There's another flag.
So there's
on
a flag
field
on that play, but Gaskins taking it right up the
he's an electric
sideline.
player.
And boy, is he fast.
I mean, he's a game changer.
I'll tell you what, you get a block like that from J.J. Chin, you can do something. That was a great block. I don't know that we'll get a chance to see that again, but
no, Salinas has done a great job of putting their playmakers in space, and special teams is a component of that.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, I think teams are going to game plan to, hey, don't kick it to that guy. Because he's a big play waiting to happen.
No, he sure is. But that's
he should have two punt returns for touchdowns, and they've both come back for penalties.
Sure, and that will not make Coach Steve Zink happy at practice on Monday. You want to celebrate a big win if it turns out to be Salinas, but you got to clean that up, especially if you want to make it in the postseason. So that's a give to Schaefer on the inside, and again, that's that same option play that Richardson just looking at that D end to cue off of, and gives that ball to Richardson. He's able to pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be mixing it up in the backfield, trying to get some reps for some different players. So it looks like number 34, Ryan Granger, is in the backfield with Richardson, and it looks like Salinas is going to keep the ball on the ground, but, Granger looks like a powerful runner.
And that another flag on that play.
Yeah,
that flag is just not doing a very good job of staying in the referee's pocket tonight, is it?
No, it's jumping out. It wants to make an escape. But it looks like a holding call, and it looks like Big Joe Fleming was at the bottom of that pile. He was probably getting held by some of the offensive linemen for Salinas.
And that's a give straight. Oh, no, it's not. It's a pass by Richardson completed to Chad Fellum, but nice fake there. But there is a penalty, and it looks like that may come back.
Yeah, I mean, I want a clean game as much as the next guy, but it does seem like the flags are really flying here tonight.
Let me ask you, as a coach and offensive coordinator, when do you take out Richardson?
I give him the rest of the third quarter. I think, my guess is you're 1st and 10. Maybe you get one more score, but you're probably just going to be handing it off here. Maybe a couple play actions, quick throws, so you keep him upright. You certainly don't want any deep drop backs where he could take a hit. But
And
just like here, you get a little bubble screen, and but I expect him to probably come out of the game, and they'll play whoever the understudy is in the 4th quarter.
Chad Fellum fighting for a couple yards there, and looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. Fellum doing a nice job catching that on his off of his upfield shoulder.
Yeah,
there.
he kind of had to flip around
turn
to catch that.
And that's Richardson up trying to get outside.
Yeah, he picked up a little bit.
Same read. And,
oh boy, more flags.
Yeah, and that's just. I think there's some talking going on back there that the official just doesn't like.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty, evident in a lot of the games that get a little bit out of hand. You get this chippiness, and it's up to the referees to keep it under control. I mean, you certainly don't want to see anything get ugly, so you've got to set the precedent that, this won't be tolerated, and it's certainly not pretty to watch because the game stops so much with all the flags, but they're trying to keep the kids safe and keep the integrity of the game in place.
So it looks like that clock is winding down for the quarter here, and looks like Salinas is going to take an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which backs them up to looks like the 41-yard line.
Yeah, so you got 2nd and 20.
So it looks.
But yeah, it's hard to know if they're going to risk throwing it with Richardson or if they're just going to kind of hand it off. But they're looking like they're in a split back set, and
so that's just going to wind down the clock. And looks like you got a couple of new players in, Polotacek and number 17.
I think this is a great opportunity for both teams to really, see what your depth looks like. Get some reps for some guys that don't normally get reps, and let them play a little bit. I mean, you never know who's going to show up, and you might find a guy who doesn't see the field much, but when he gets out there, he likes it. At night under the lights, and you might find yourself a player somewhere in there that you didn't think you had, and that could help again for next week and the rest of the season, because let's face it, you can't have too many good players, and if you can develop some of those younger guys, whether it's for later in this season or next season, they need to get those valuable game reps to really learn how to play and learn the speed of the game, and that's just as important as anything else.
Sure, and it looks like that we do have a quarterback change. It looks like we've got number 12, Landon Laporte, in at quarterback for Salinas, and again he's got that's a give to Schaefer up the middle.
Yeah.
So Landon Laporte handing that ball off.
You hate to see this at this stage of the game, somebody go down with an injury. I mean,
hate to see that. Hey, while we have a minute here, Baj, it looks like what do you make of this realignment? Now, obviously, here we're seeing something maybe one of the disadvantage of realignment. You've got Christopher moving up to the Gavilan division, playing a little bit bigger school. Christopher 1,700, Salinas High maybe a little bit more than that, but obviously Gavilan Christopher had a very successful season last year, moving up to play a different division, arguably a more competitive division. They've earned their way here.
Sure.
Right? So your thoughts on realignment?
Well, I think the equity thing is a good thing in the long haul. I think it allows schools to move up with good play and, consequently move down if they're not as competitive. And I think the hard thing is, you get these bubble teams, kind of like Christopher potentially this year, or any other team that has moved up to a bigger division, the competition level is significant when you're going to make that shift, and it's just a matter of finding your footing, knowing the opponents, and matching that level of physicality. But anytime you're trying to move teams up divisions and down, I mean,
so
you're going to have
Laporte
mismatches.
Keeps that ball on that read and looks like using his feet. We've got a flag on the play, but Laporte taking it up the side. We've got another Christopher player down. Looks like could be cramping. That looks like Christian Davis. That looks like a cramp. But
yeah, and Davis has been all over the field tonight.
How about
so
those Davis twins tonight?
Oh yeah, no, it's Davis every time the announcer is calling out somebody's name. But back to the realignment thing, it's just a matter of it takes time to work itself out, and I think no matter what's going on, you're always going to have some mismatches, of bigger teams, bigger schools with more experience against teams that have moved up into a bigger division that aren't quite ready for it, and but you got to give those programs time to develop, and they could either stay there or move back down the next year. And it's just going to take time to work itself out. But I think ultimately it's a good thing. I think you're having more competitive games than you would otherwise.
It seems like it. It seems like these teams that are especially that you see in the lower divisions, teams with there are very few of the big blowouts that we've seen in past years. And
sure, well, I think it's just more of a competitive balance, and I think you're always going to have a couple games that are lopsided like we have tonight, but that doesn't mean that Christopher is not going to win a couple more games this season. I mean, they could very, very well finish third, fourth, fifth in that upper tier division, and that's an accomplishment.
And that's a ticket to the playoffs too. So
absolutely.
Sure.
They're going to have a ton of teams from that upper division go to the playoffs. So, just because you don't beat Salinas, doesn't really mean much. I mean, Salinas went to the state title game last year, and they're a very, very competitive program, and they have what a lot of schools wish they had, which is numbers.
Sure.
I mean, they've got a huge amount of kids that are playing football at Salinas High School, and I mean, you just look at it tonight. I mean, their sideline is almost 50 strong. A
little over 60, about 64 strong.
Yeah, that's a huge number for a varsity team in this area. And then you look at Christopher, and maybe they have 30 kids.
Sure, and that's 3 teams at Salinas: varsity, junior varsity, and
absolutely.
But Salinas, well coached. Steve Zank and his staff do a great job over there. As do Tim Perleone at Christopher. He's got a terrific staff and really got a very strong football family. That ball in and out of O'Callahan's pass in and out of the hands of
and I expect
numbers.
Christopher to bounce back next week. I mean, historically, they're an offense that puts up a lot of yards and a lot of points. They just came up against a brick wall tonight, but I expect them to have great statistical numbers for the rest of the season, and I think Stanford's going to have a great season if he can kind of come back healthy. And Scargione looks like one of the better receivers in this in this upper division, of this equity system. So they just got to figure it out.
Hollister a battle last week, basically only falling by 6 points at the and that defensive line by Salinas. Sacked by number 39 of Salinas. That is Cole Burke on that tackle, junior for Salinas in there now. And Christopher just trying to get something going.
Well, I think Christopher's just trying to get some reps for some guys that don't normally get any, and I think it's good for them. I mean, you can't simulate this kind of speed and this kind of opponent in practice, and so if you can get the opportunity to really get some of these guys live reps, I mean, it's a benefit for down the road.
So you've got Connor O'Callahan looking to throw the ball. He's got a screen pass there to Davis, Tyler Davis, making some room, getting up to the sideline and looking like he gets to about back to the original line of scrimmage. So it will be a fourth and about the original 10. So Christopher looking to probably run another play here.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got to lose?
Let's give O'Callahan the reps and see what they can do.
Absolutely.
So he's got Tyler Davis in the backfield and looks to make that quick swing pass out there, and that's just off the shoulder of.
And that's a live ball.
That is
Coach.
a live ball. That's off that back shoulder of Scorgione, and that, as you said, that's a live ball. That's a lateral pass.
Well, that's a mistake you can't make.
Yeah.
Any screen pass, especially on the bubble, if it hits the ground, I mean, your guys got to jump on it, even if you don't know if it's a live ball or not. And because it's very subjective. It's up to the ref to determine if that ball is going forward or backwards, and you got to jump on that ball.
So exactly what Christopher did not want to have happen, and it turns the ball back over to Salinas, and you've got Landon Port leading the Cowboys at this point, and he hands off to number 34, and that's Ryan Granger on that carry, a junior, powerful looking runner there.
Yeah,
Ryan
I like
Granger.
Granger.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little pop to his step, and he's pushing the pile, kind of running some guys over. He looks strong.
Powerful runner. So in Salinas giving their some of their other players the ability to get back to the line of scrimmage and get the play off fast. That's a give to number 22, Xavier Rubio, on that carrier.
Yeah, a little bit of a jet sweep there, kind of get the ball moving side to side, keep the defense on their toes.
So we've got Poe Gaskins and Robison and John Mandela all on the sideline at this point, and Landon Laporte leading the Salinas Cowboy drive here. And he's looking to throw the ball downfield. He's got a receiver open in the end zone, and that looked like down there in the corner, that was number 9, J.J. Chin, who had that great block on that return that came back.
Absolutely. He's getting a little love, make a big special teams play,
Sure.
Get a couple targets in the pass game.
Intended for number 9, J.J. Chin, complete. 4th and 6.
So Salinas with 3 receivers to the right side, and that's where Laporte's looking for receiver in the end zone. He was looking for number 22, Xavier Rubio, in the end zone, and it looked like Adam Andrade picked that off. So a little something nice for Christopher here.
Yeah, what a great play by Andrade. I mean, he read the concept and jumped the route, and he really showcased his hands right there and came down with a big play.
Looked like a little flood over there on that side?
Yeah, I think so, and he just kind of saw the deep out, coming a mile away, and he just kind of jumped it.
That's a tough pass for a quarterback to make, but the ball was in the air enough time. Nice jump on that ball.
No, I think it was great anticipation.
So again, you've got Connor O'Callahan trying to punch it out here, get a little running room. He's back to pass, and he little screen, but like trying to set up that little screen to Trevor Davis, and does a nice job. Tyler Davis.
Yeah, no, I think
Tyler Davis on
there, and that's one of those things with Davis is, he's not getting much action going in the run game, handing the ball off, so you got to create some touches for him in the pass game, and the screen is a great way to get him involved in the mix, but it looks like he's coming out of the game with a little bit of a limp.
Well, he's worked hard on both sides of the ball all night.
Oh, yeah, he's had a fantastic game. He's got nothing but...
Looks like a little jet sweep here to number 22, Julian Rasuli, who's been busy as well tonight, offense and defense. And so now the 3rd and short. So Christopher looking like they're putting something together here.
Yeah, if they can get a first down here, I think that would be good for their morale.
So trying to reposition, get the right formation here. And it's a little pitch pass. And good for a first down.
Yeah, that's a great run. A little jet sweep action, get him running full speed, and kind of toss it out to him.
That's Rasuli again. That's that little that not necessarily a shovel pass, but we've seen that a lot now in the NFL. It's just like they're holding the ball up and the guy's just running into it.
Yeah, well, I think the idea is you get a full head of steam and you're running, at top speed, and you can catch the ball in the air and you don't have to slow down.
Softer ball.
So you're going to hit the edge a lot quicker as opposed to a handoff.
Correct. And so that looks like a little full block and running up the middle, showing.
Yeah, well, you get the jet sweep action, and then people start to overplay that. Then you hand it off to the running back up the middle.
Come right back
and,
up the middle.
create some space there.
And it looked like Wyatt Franklin on that carry. So Franklin getting a little action in the backfield.
Yeah, he's getting some great reps here.
Rasuli in motion and trying to get something together with his feet. He's chased down there by, that's number 30 on Salinas. That's Cameron Schmuckel there on that stop. A lot of Cowboys getting in on the action. So we're winding down to about 2 minutes tonight, Baj. It's been a great game, great calling the game with you. A lot of fun. I want to give a shout out to our team at McCaet, who's helped put on this production tonight. So doing a great job on camera one. We've got Andrew, we've got Caesar, we've got camera 2, camera 3, Miranda, graphics, Brandon. And then we've got in the booth Dylan, Matt, and Tom tonight, doing a great job putting together a terrific production for all of our viewers. It's been a great night here at Christopher High School. Many thanks to MCAETtv and under the guidance of Hamish Tyler for running a great organization and really putting cameras and great mentors together with the students from Millennium Charter School run by the Monterey Office of Education. So a little stall in the game. We do have a running clock, so this game is winding down. I'm not sure we'll get another playoff, but Baj, it's been a pleasure calling the game with you.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun, and who knows, maybe we'll do it again in the future.
It's next week. We've got a game of the week coming up next week, which is going to be next week Gonzales. We're going to be King City at Gonzales High School. So next Friday night, 7:30, King City at
Yeah, I don't know what the scores are tonight, but Gonzales is having a great season. They've been undefeated so far, and
my goodness,
they've really had a resurgence over there in the Central Valley, and it seems like their program is on the come up. And
proud tradition at Gonzales, and I think they were a 44-0 winner tonight over Marina.
Oh wow, good for them.
And so Peyton Flores ran wild.
As expected.
Yeah, sure. So it's been, two proud teams, two league champions playing tonight. Christopher, MBL league champion, and CCS Division 4 champions playing the Salinas Cowboys. Salinas coming out on top, obviously 40-3. It was all Salinas, especially in the first half.
Well, on the first play, really, Richardson took that keeper. He pulled it on the zone read and took it to the house, and it was kind of downhill from there.
And that's exactly what they do. There was, Salinas doing a great job tonight, and I don't know who's left that they can't beat.
Well, I mean, they've already knocked Salinas off of their list, so I mean, they probably are the team to beat in that upper division at that point. I mean,
Carmel.
Yeah. But Aptos, is certainly another team to be reckoned with. So I'd say Aptos and Salinas are the kind of the top dogs in that upper division at the moment.
Well, Baj, it's been a pleasure. Thanks to all our. Thank you for our food provided tonight for the guys in the truck, and that they do a great job. And that's from the Salinas food truck that supplied food for our staff tonight at McCaet. All the cameramen are our guys in the truck who did a great job putting all the graphics together. And Boz, just to wrap up tonight, again, it was all Salinas 40-3. The Cougars were able to put together a couple of drives, but I'm sure fall short of what Coach Tim Perleone expected out of the team tonight. It'll be interesting to see Salinas over the rest of the season. I wish they could. They probably wish they had that first game back versus Carmel. But again, it's been a pleasure. It was all Salinas here tonight. Thanks to McCaet, our team, and our host tonight at Christopher High School.
The preceding program was made possible in part by the Nancy Eccles and Homer Hayward Family Foundation, the Digital Media Foundation, Yellow Brick Road, and the Arts Council for Monterey County. A big thank you from MCAETtv.